Hello everybody! I'm a couple minutes behind, I'm sorry about that. I had to do stuff for the baby and I had to feed the cats. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Friday! Who's ready for a fun stream? It's gonna be fun. I think it's a good lineup. I think it's a pretty fire lineup, if I do say so myself. I mean, I'm known for tooting my own horn, but like, I'm gonna really toot my own horn here. Alright, also, just gonna casually drop this out there. You might not like hearing this. Twitch now has the award against you guys for being the more unhinged community. They are now the more unhinged community. I just need to establish that. Yes, yesterday was a very exhausting day. Shut up, Dolphin. Shut up. Shut up. Alright, anyway. I hope you guys are having the best. Pay no mind to, actually, yeah, pay no mind to what you see for a second. Let me just put that away. I forgot that I still had that on. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Anyway, what did they do? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. My hubris got the better of me. My hubris got the better of me. I mean, I don't think that is conceivably possible. I don't think that is conceivably possible, Shay. Your timer will be gone this time, 2030. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Pay all the mind to this foolish girl and her bets. I made a mistake. No, it was at 14. It was at 14, War Boss. Okay, so... basically, it was the 1 year. Oh God, Money's here to the tease. Going from 4 days to 37. Money, you left when it was 37 days. I see you going. Hey. You left when it was 37. That's cute. That's cute. That's so cute. I love that for you, Money. I really do. Thine hubris is late. Tetra, what did you do? Look, I made a quirky little bet with chat for the 1 year celebration where I was like, okay, we have so much time in this timer. How about we flip a coin? Like either I'll add a multiplier to donations to celebrate the day since it's the 1 year anniversary of it, or I get 10 days off of it, right? I won, and I was really excited, so I went from 14 days to 4 days left, and I'm like, you know what, I feel bad, so I'm going to also give you guys the multiplier, even though I took the time off, and you guys took that as a fun little quirky challenge, and got back to that starting point, and then at the point of when we got to the starting point, we did double or nothing, and I'm like, alright, let's get rid of those 10 days again. However, I lost that time, and the multiplier went burr, and yeah... Yeah. Money, it's 81. It's 81 days right now. I don't know how I'm going to trade and negotiate with you guys. I'm going to have to come up with something. I'm going to have to come up with something to negotiate. It's going to have to be through betting and negotiation to get that timer away. Well, okay, Lurk took it as a challenge. Lurk skewed the betting pool pretty aggressively. I won't lie. Also, I love the fact that I now have Italian viewers. That makes me really happy. That makes me really happy. I love that Antonio came in. See, I know some things. See, I knew it was Buon Pomeriggio, right? See, I know some stuff still from back in the day. The problem is when you don't use a language, you forget it, and it really sucks. Like the language I was the best at, aside from English, was Italian. I tried learning Chinese for a few years, right? I tried to learn Mandarin because of my stepmother, but that was incredibly hard. Like I did take it in college too. But I didn't use it nearly enough for it to stick at all. And Italian, I took many years of, and just after not using it for long enough, you just really it becomes a mush. It becomes mush. I can understand some stuff, but like it's bad. Soon you'll have watchers in every EU country. I mean, like, you know what? I want to come to the EU at this point, so that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Hubris? I have a little bit of hubris. Yeah, I was gonna say, Wisdom knows cool languages. Wisdom knows really cool languages. Currently learning German myself. I love that for you. All I know in German is, what is it, Krankenhaus and Krankenwagen. Because the Krankenwagen goes toot toot. Oh my goodness. Hold on one second. Also, nobody said anything that my desktop audio is muted. Oh, Lurk just did it now. Thank you, thank you. Never go to Vegas, Tetra, never? No, I wouldn't. I don't gamble. Aside from with you goobers, I don't bet. The poopin' fountain, yes, yes. Yeah. I did twice. I didn't see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate the fact that I sniffled, like, with no background audio, too. It just makes it so much worse. It just makes it so much worse. Getting the sniffer. Mm. Hey, Tetra, love you. Love you, too. Thank you. Also, my new gloves came. I am wearing them now. They are the most comfy and cute things ever. I'm literally already thriving on my Slavic mother era before it even happens. I'm loving these. They're so cute. That's Zeichenwagen and Zeichenhaus in Dutch. Some German words are pretty close to German. Ooh, okay, that's cool. Well, I would assume German words were close to German, yes, but I think you meant Danish words, right, or Dutch words, right? Hope you love the funny rat wizard. I'm excited. I sit here shackled within this prison. It rots, it heals, it binds me and confronts me. With each death, it dies, yet pushes you in this prison. What are you talking about? Are you making a really dark reference to my timer? Finally managed to catch this live. Yay! Nah, today is a good day. Babushka approval. No, like legitimately, I cannot wait for that model to be done. It's not even going to be started for like another 5 months probably. I'm hoping sooner. But like I'm already getting a bunch of like artwork done preemptively. Like I'm gonna change all my banners and stuff like that to it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm already really obsessed with it. You fixed the timer, right? You mean this timer? You mean this timer? Yeah, I fixed it. I love how the last thing says 36,000 seconds from Sathir. 36,000 seconds from Sathir. Thanks, Sathir. You're a real one. You're a real one, homie. On the plus side, starting out with victory in your grasp, only to end with everything failing catastrophically is very thankful coded. I mean, look, we could make a little quirky bet here without the Twitch people knowing. We could be like, well, we can make it so I get 80 days off the timer, or I get 50 days off the timer, and we could call it like the YouTube pity. We'll be like, oh no, you get 70 days off the timer, or you get 40 days off the timer. Wouldn't that be kind of cool from you guys? You guys get to be the heroes swooping in, helping me out, while the Twitch people get to be vilified. Don't you guys want that? I don't even register the timer, the timer moves anymore. Wait, it was not that high at the end of stream yesterday. Oh, it was. At the end of stream it was. I literally was editing my video to post yesterday because this will kind of go into everything else today. So I posted the hour-long mummy tattoo video yesterday. The reception to it was exactly what I expected. It was a dumpster fire. It performed terribly, and the comments were toxic as hell. I members only'd it because I didn't like it to begin with. But I members only it afterwards, just because I didn't feel like dealing with it. The comments weren't inherently mean. They were just really pretentious, and the thing is that I knew going into it, because I said I don't like stick poke, I was just gonna unleash some pretentious dickwad on me. And that's fine. That's totally fine. So I had to put a different video out because I don't like going a day without a video being posted, right? So if it's members only, that means it's going to be extra. So that means the members get to eat good, but I'm not going to make regular viewers not get to enjoy as much content. So at the end of stream, I start rushing to get a video edited and out. So I literally did it at the end of stream, and while I'm paying attention to it, I just hear bing, bing, bing. Or sorry, it's not binging. It's well, actually no, it was binging because they were giving on Throne 2. But it was the baka sound that I have whenever you donate subs. So I just hear that going off constantly as I'm trying to rapidly try to get this edit done. So I'm not even looking, and they're just trying to raise the timer as high as they can while they have the opportunity to. Good morning, hi Zinth. How are you today? Zinth, you're a good soul, right? You care about me, right? Parasocially, of course. Right? Right? You think that I should be able to do a vote to take away 50 days off a timer, right? Right? I was having a duel with wisdom. Wait, for what? For what? Yes, less yapping, more thanical. That's gonna make me yap way more. Don't do that. I promise that is the wrong way to try directing a streamer. But if we let loose some of the timer hubris, we'll only get worse. Apocalypse says timer's not moving. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a duel. Okay. Also, to lay out what we have. Tetra, you have been able to listen to the Caiaphas Cain. I have not been able to listen to them yet. I want to listen to the Caiaphas Cain one so bad. I really, really do. It will be a lot easier when BB sleeps for more than like an hour at a time. Because like right now, the only thing that I can conceivably do is like play a game of TFT on my tablet while I'm watching her. Because she literally wakes up after like every hour, like hour and a half at most. So like when she starts sleeping like for 3-4 hours at a time, I'll be able to actually listen to the books. But believe me, I am beyond excited to listen to it, Soul. No, less more yapping. We need more. No, isn't the current timer? I know the timer doesn't run while I'm on YouTube usually. The timer running on YouTube is very arbitrary when I choose to do it. I usually don't. I probably should just let it run. Honestly, I think if we don't reduce the timer, I think the new rule is the timer's just gonna go forever without it being turned off. Like, I think that's gonna be the new rule. My soul is frozen as Lake Erie right now. The 20 degrees Fahrenheit back at USPS or UPS truck is warmer than my Mercy. The -degree wind chill is what I inflict upon your timer. And you sometimes have to bully other people into playing. I mean, I'm going to be playing with you tonight at some point, Wisdom. I'm going to make sure of that. You got to make sure you get into gold. I'm about to get into platinum, so I need you to get into gold. What is the timer even for? So I started a subathon back a year ago when I was debuting something on Twitch, and it was originally a traditional subathon where I was on for 24 hours straight. It just got long enough that I'm like, well, I have a wife who also streams. I need her to be able to go on too, so let me reduce the time that I'm on, but I'll be on every single day. And I've been on every single day on platforms. That was before I was on YouTube, right? So then I had to add YouTube into that, but I don't take time off when I'm on YouTube. So it's like I'm producing content all day. And now even with the baby, my time on is way less, right? Like my editing time is cut drastically, and even my stream time, instead of 5 hours on YouTube, I tend to do like 3.5. So it's rough. The 1 hour yap session is always mandatory. I just like talking with you guys. I like being parasocial with my community, you know? I'm channeling my inner nags. You know, I want to be able to know all you guys. Oh, okay, so let me tell you guys though, I think you should run it to YouTube. I think that I should, like I said, I think that I should run the timer like 24/7 until it's at a reasonable amount of time. I think that's a fair trade-off for the level of absurdity that it went to. And like, I don't need it to go down to like 5 days, but I think that until it's at 10 days, I should let it just run 24/7. Which would literally mean that it's still gonna go for like 3 months. Without me switching it back to the traditional format. I love your voice, and I hope you don't overwork yourself. Oh, well, I've been working every single day for like 3 years. I enjoy what I do. I love doing this with you guys. This doesn't exhaust. I mean, Pancreas, no work for DeWin boys. So, speaking of that, for anybody who does not know that, I'm actually going to be collabing with him in about a week and change. We're going to be playing through Halo ODST. So I'm really looking forward to playing with Pancreas. So what I'm hearing is you and Yura have a subathon, baby. We actually do, because her subathon has been going on longer than mine. And it's been going for about 3 years. And people always ask, like, well, then why do you keep it going? You're just basically normally streaming. And it's like, well, you can only do it for so long without it being, you know, without switching to a normal format. And it's like, so at this point, we just keep the timer going while we're live. Well, I forgot that I still had that on for now. Well, thank you for the follow on Purple Site. I appreciate it. but it's more so just a matter of like it's arbitrary. It's there for fun. There's no reason to keep people going. I mean, when it does end, we'll celebrate and do something for it. I know Yura wrote a speech for hers when it ends, and that she wrote that speech like 2 years ago. Next Sunday, yeah, it's not this Sunday, it's the following Sunday. And it might be on YouTube. I'm not sure. At the very least, it's gonna be on Twitch. And then I will record it and put it on YouTube. But whatever he wants, I'm gonna just do. I don't know a thing about Halo. ODST is like the most non-Halo Halo, but it's really good. You play as a much weaker unit, and it's more stealthy. But it's like most underappreciated. The collab will be on YouTube. No matter what, YouTube will get the collab. Whether or not you get it live, I'm not sure, because I don't do multi-streaming, because I think that it does my viewers a disservice. Because when you do multi-streaming, Twitch TOS requires you to focus more on that chat, and you can't combine the chats into one, otherwise you break TOS. So in doing so, I would neglect you guys, and I don't like neglecting you guys because you guys are kind of cool. So I will either stream it on Twitch, or I will stream it over here, or I will stream it on I'll stream it on Twitch and then release it as a standalone video here. We'll celebrate when it ends. Lamau, yeah. ODST, my boys. Yeah. We love ODST. Oh, so let me tell you guys what the plan is. So like I mentioned, for today, the mini Minutemen video of the tattoos, literally not worth doing. I felt it early in the video. You guys mentioned it as well. It was not worth doing. One of those things when you have a strong opinion about something, and I don't even think I was that strong of an opinion, but like there was somebody in my comments, for example, and they were a subscriber. I won't say their name, obviously, but like they were micro-analyzing every comment I had made in the entire video, as they watched through the entire thing, and then towards the end of it, they're just like, I am really rethinking my subscription to your channel, and it's like, bro, shut the fuck up and unsubscribe then. Like I want to make content for everybody, I really do, and I want everybody happy, but like I'm not gonna sit there and just listen to a Karen bitch and moan about one piece of my content. Like there's no, if you don't like it, there's a million other creators. I will do my best to make everybody happy, but like don't like threaten your sub on me. Like I don't know what on earth you're thinking. Yeah, most of his videos are great. That was just one of his weakest. It's sad too, because I really like the theme. I really like the theme. People, it's okay. But today, we're going to go into another one of his shorts compilations. I know people are going to be like, oh, but we want you to watch his long form. The short form did really well. Long form did not. We're going to do another short form of his conspiracy stuff. Then we'll try another long form. But the roster for today is we have the video on Thanquil, which I'm looking forward to. Unhinged Rat, we all love that. We have a very special return video. I am going to finally rewatch the Speech of Sanguinius now that I understand Sanguinius. So I'm going to be watching that. Then we have more Dylan, and then we have Mini Minutemen and a Casual Geographic. Sounds like a good lineup to me. Anyway, I need to leave right now because I need to get my favorite cult game for honor of... I need to play my favorite cult of game for honor... Oh, your favorite cult of game... Wait... Why cult of game? Your favorite cult game for honor, I guess? Yeah, it just sounds like someone who uses breaking up as a it does. It really does. It's not an airport, no need to announce it. That's the thing. I don't understand why people do that, but it's whatever. It's whatever, you know, it really is. It just strikes me as a very it strikes me as a very unique way of going about things. Because at the end of the day, you know, because like they might be watching now, right? They might be watching now. I won't know because I did the magical thing that creators can do. I pressed the little hide this user button. So they basically live in the Shadow Realm now with all the Black Templar viewers. It's totally fine. You guys are welcome to watch me, but no one will hear your nonsense. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. Andiamo! I love that. Descent of the Angels, another great watch. Which one is Descent of the Angel? Good. If you do long form, I hope it's the Vampire. Vampire Burials is on my my watch list. It's not for today, but it is on the watch list. They're in the Shadow Realm now. I don't like putting people in the Shadow Realm now. You guys make me feel like I'm Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm just staring you down, putting you in there with all the the Toon Summon Skull and shit like that. You just live there. Every one of those people is Yugi's grandpa. If they want to fade it, it's their prerogative. Yeah, this is true. Black Templar fans can say, well, like, the thing is, right, like, okay, really honest take, for any of the Black Templar fans that do watch me and are not dicks, I think that the Black Templars are cool. Like, that's the problem. Like, I think that they're cool. It's just the fact that some of the fans are so damn loud and rude. Like, that's the easiest way. Who the fuck is Mokuba? Bro, the most underrepresented character in any show. Oh my god. I often leave without saying anything, but usually when I come back, I say hi again, so I ask what I miss. No, but like, well, okay, yeah, that's true too. But I mean, this was somebody who wasn't even just for like leaving the stream for the day. That wasn't the issue, right? Like, I don't really care when people in the stream are like, oh, I gotta go. Like, I'll say bye. Hope you have a good day, right? Because you're just being sweet and you're being innocent. No, it's when somebody's like, I'm leaving your channel. I'm so offended by you saying that Dorn likes to build puzzles and he likes trains and that he separates his chicken nuggies from his mashed potatoes. How dare you say this about my Primarch? Or how dare you say that Vulcan is not a huggy boy? Grrr! It's like, the guy, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. Yeah. No, even Pancreas said that exact statement to me. Not all Black Templar fans, but always a Black Templar fan. Why is that comment so fucking well known? Why is that comment so well known? I'm a mostly Warhammer. What's up with Black Templars? Some of them like to use it as a catalyst to roleplay their inner dark thoughts. Put it that way. Like, they're a very cool concept, but some people take it too far. Not my poor little meow meow! Oh, on a lighter note, during the insanity that was Twitch, the Celestine statue, the 1/4 scale Saint Celestine statue is like 30% funded. I think you guys are like on crack sometimes, I swear. Because it's real. It sounds like how not all whiskey is bourbon, but all bourbon is a whiskey. Kinda. Black Temple fans are the type of person who has a Death Note and says their favorite is... Okay, alright. In fairness, Death Note was a good manga up until L died. Spoiler alert. Sorry if you guys are like a decade behind. Or actually, no, it's probably more. Wait, let's all feel old for a second. Let's all feel terribly, terribly old. Let's see Death Note release date. Death Note release date. Oh. Death Note is 20 years. Death Note's finished 20 years ago. Death Note finished 20 years ago. Oh. Oh. To dust, you said? Yeah, The anime also ended. The anime was also 20 years old. How is Death Note 20 years old? How... Bye 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 is a 25-year-old song? Like, do I make it worse and look up when Trigun was released? Lahag. Why are you calling me a hag? Oh my god. Behold, I'm not the wind. Let's all take a moment to appreciate that Pegasus is that Millennium item with the specific power of letting him cheat, and Yu-Gi was still able to cheat harder than him. Yeah. What do you mean the anime is 20-year-old? We're in 2013. My knees just lost their last bend. Trigun was in the 90s. You know what's funny? It's easier for me to acknowledge Trigun being old than it is for me to acknowledge Death Note being old. Death Note doesn't feel old. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, Death Note's a decade old, you know? It's cool, right? Whatever, no big deal. Like, like, age of 40 is in demand? Well, that's, I'm apparently, according to you guys, I'm 40, so I guess I'm in demand. I tuned into stream just to suffer. I mean, Hello Darkness, but when Trigun released was almost 30 years ago. Well, like, what about stuff like, I'm trying to think of ones that don't feel old, right? Rurouni Kenshin feels old. Cowboy Bebop feels old. Samurai Champloo does not feel old. How old is Samurai Champloo? It's 21 years old. It's 21 years old. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's look up another one. You know, you remember Drifters? I've been waiting for season 2 of Drifters. Let's see how old Drifters is. I'm sure it's fine, right? Drifters is only 10 years old. I've been waiting for 10 years for a second season. Wow. Gurren Lagann, don't. Gurren Lagann is the best anime of all time. Don't tell me it's like, it's probably 20 years old. 19 years old. 19 years old. Ghost in the Shell feels old, though. Ghost in the Shell feels old. I think they were in the tail end of that style. It's just stupid paid for super and it doesn't send and glitched out YouTube. It's okay, Selector. You just don't want to support me with soup. I'm kidding. I'm literally kidding. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Naruto's ancient. Everything okay, hun? Oh my goodness. I'm also waiting for season 2 of Drifters. Right. How about Black Lagoon? Black Lagoon is another one that I feel like it feels old. I'm trying to think of ones that don't feel old. Yura, what's an anime that doesn't feel old? Because I've learned that Death Note is 20 years old. No, I mean, like, what's one that you remember and you think fondly of it, but you just don't see it as old? Naruto is newer than Death Note? No way. There's no way Naruto is newer than Death Note. Frieren actually is young. Frieren is actually a young anime. High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead's pretty old too. Wait, what about High School DxD? Hold on. High School DxD. It came out in 2008. Man, the first comment that's what people ask on Google for High School DxD is, in which episode does Rias lose her virginity? Man, people really need to not thirst so hard for anime women. Like, damn. Dude, okay, alright. Hottest take ever. Hottest take ever that's gonna make people leave my channel forever and just hate me. I think Evangelion is not that good, primarily because of the Shinji effect. Shinji is so bad of a character, he ruins anything he touches because he is so unlovably hateful. Or no, he is so unapologetically hateable. Sorry, that's a better way to say it. I know. Worst thing I could ever say. I can't, I love Ray. I do. Oh, hi, Vivi.
Face is all clean.
I love you. Hi. Will you protect me from the hate I'm about to receive for saying Evangelion's mid? Yeah? You guys can't be mad at me. I have the BB here. Yeah, do you agree? You think Evangelion's mid? Yeah? Yeah. She agrees. She agrees with me.
Okay. We're gonna try out the rock.
Okay. I feel like the reason some animes feel old compared is due to difference in our side. That's very fair. That's very fair. What about Gundam Wing? I liked G Gundam, which was garbage, but I still enjoyed it. Gooners, man. I just burst into flames. Wait, what? What? My age form hath crumbled and begun consuming by rot the fire. What the hell, Relics? It's mid entirely because of Shinji. Like, if it was not Nam the same way, I watched Eva for the first time with a friend not long ago and was not into it at all. For me, it's entirely Shinji that ruins that anime. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, like, I don't hate the anime. I like the characters and I like the story. I just don't like Shinji. Like, if you want to take a very similar plot, think of, like, not the exact same plot, but you want to take that same format, take Udeka 7. Udeka 7 was worlds better, just because the main character did not suck nearly as much as Shinji. How about Gundam Seed? I don't remember Gundam Seed too well. Who's Shinji? Hang on. I'm gonna find something for you guys real quick, just to give you guys a good summary of Shinji. Hold on. Okay. Give me 1 second while I just do this. Okay. Let me put this on for a second so you guys can understand who Shinji is, okay? You'll appreciate it, I promise. Okay, this is Shinji. Just so you guys are aware, this is our lovely little Shinji. Just screaming. Just screaming. No, you need to understand. You need to understand why Shinji sucks. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand why I despise him? Do you now understand why I hate Shinji? Because if that does not express to you why Shinji is horrendous, if that does not tell you why I think Shinji is an irredeemably hateable character, I do not know what will. He's a trauma punching bag and I love him for that. Someone needs to get Shinji the gentle. Oh my god, Shinji needs the gentle formula. He's been drinking too much formula with the bottled screams. Tetra, what is your idea about Optimus Prime? What? Wait, what is your idea about Optimus Prime, the OG? In base of this, answers, I will be very seed. He's fine. Mugger's Dream, that one or living pushing bag. Wait, what? It's supposed to be, it's so bad, a good thing. No. Like the thing is, the rest of the show is good, right? Like, Evangelion is like touted as a masterpiece. If Shinji was replaced by a character that was just slightly less insufferable, I think that it would be a solid 8 out of 10. But Shinji like drags it down to like a 2. I hate Shinji so much. Shinji is the reason why I hate Deku from My Hero. It's that personality, and Deku's better. But just whiny piss baby main characters, I just can't handle. Like, I'm fine with them being whiny piss babies if they grow. But like, I don't know why. Like, it's really insufferable. Cause like, you know, make more enemies while I'm at it, right? Like, when it comes to Deku, the kid doesn't even get to be the strongest hero. He becomes number 4. Like, after all that work, you go through a whole series just to get cucked. Like, what is he, Ash Ketchum? Like he literally gets 4th. Agree to disagree. That's totally fine. Again, the beauty of these things is that everything I'm saying is strictly opinion. Everything is just my opinion. It doesn't make it fact. It doesn't make your opinion less valid. Insufferable at the beginning of One Piece? Who? Oh, no, I hate... Oh, God, you're making me say all the things that are going to get me canceled. I hate Usopp. I love One Piece. I hate Usopp. And the argument of, like, oh, he's the only real character, right? Like, he's meant to be, like, how somebody from our world would react to this stuff. Usopp is just an insufferable guy. He's such an insufferable character. Oh, my God. It's like if you take a weak character and then you give them an ego on top of it. It's just, it's horrible. Misbe Judge bets and hot takes, classic Tetra streams. Man. Gundam Unicorn, the 8th MS team, and Award Pocket Ovas were great ones. At least Ash wins in the end. Deku's just yeah. Yay, members only VOD. Wait, do we think... I don't think this is going to be members only. Do we think people are going to be that angry over me saying that Shinji and Deku and Usopp suck? I mean, I made some enemies when I said that Simon is a bad character before the time skip. Like, people who watch my Gurren Lagann short still... Dude, I swear to God, I get more comments on the Gurren Lagann short from, like, a year and a half ago and the Insect Glaive short from a year and a half ago than anyone ever should. People still comment on it like it's a brand new video. Maybe we get to the... I get it, and I appreciate the super chat. I really don't like being pushed to... Like, every time... I want you guys to understand something. I have been doing this long enough to understand my pacing, and I understand people are impatient. If you are impatient, you are free to leave and watch the VOD when it comes out and skip ahead. I can tell you almost assuredly that if you, if you want me to speed up, asking me to do so will likely just make me take longer. I will be honest about that one. I appreciate the super chat. I genuinely do. We will be getting into it. You can always assume that the chatting section usually goes for an hour. It usually does go for about an hour. Yo, Hercule was a great character. Hercule did the big ego weak character right. I like the yappening. No, it's just again, like, I understand that some people do want to watch the video, and we will get there. The longest we usually go is an hour. We're having a nice conversation, and it's quite fun and engaging. A major part of the community is here for the yap. I know, but I also want to be respectful to the people who aren't here for the yap, and I try to give them the explanation as to how the way they can watch it without the problem. You know, I get it. I remember stopping watching Evangelion when Shinji was seriously considered touching Asuka and her... What? To be fair, the second half of the original Evangelion series, the creator had a severe depression and mental breakdown, which is why the second half of that series changed heavily into dark themes. Alright, but hear me out. The creator of Rent-a-Girlfriend legitimately made his own wife the character who turns down the main character who's based off him. Yeah. Yeah, how's that for a mindfuckery, right? Like, the guy literally wrote himself into being a cuck. Yeah. Yeah. Just food for thought there. I'm gonna sip my coffee now. No. That's not necessarily the case. Look. Somebody cared enough that they gave a super chat to ask. They asked politely. They weren't a dick about it. They asked politely, and I'm just giving a simple answer to it. That's all. Yeah, that happened. That's wow. Yeah, enjoy that in your head to know that now. No, I don't believe he did. I don't believe he uncucked himself. I believe that he is perpetually cucked. But my favorite part was that since he based the character off of his wife and the main character off of him, he was jealous of the character he wrote. So to punish his character, he made the character get cucked. Like, it's really, really pathetic behavior. the creator of To Love Ru that wrote his wife as one of the main characters, and his wife cheated on him when they got divorced, so they had to write around her. Thankful, the true Primarch of the Salamanders. No, that's Erebus. What do you mean? I don't understand that series. The Cooking Salamander. That'll make for an interesting paper on psychology. That's one way to live out a revenge fantasy. Whatever, right? Okay. All right. Let us appease the community. Let's get into the videos. It's been 50 minutes. It's been close enough. It's been close enough. I love and appreciate all of you guys, and even those who are impatient. I do love and appreciate you guys. You being here means a lot to me. So I may disagree with the way that you guys, deliver your opinions sometimes, but I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you, nevertheless. All right, let me move myself over here. This looks fine, right? Okay. All right. Let us get into this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this one. Okay. Oh, 50 minutes already. Yeah, I mean, it goes by really fast. That's why I understand the people who are getting impatient, who don't like the yap part of it, right? Because there's always those people, right? I want to be respectful of those people too, and I know that some people always say, "Oh, you don't need to," blah 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 blah, and I get that. For people who enjoy the conversation, that hour goes by really fast. For people who don't and they just want the content, it probably feels like a long time. It probably feels like a very, very long time. So that's why I try to be understanding of both, and why I try to have a hard limit on YouTube for when I talk. Twitch, no. Twitch ends up being... Literally yesterday was, 3 hours of yapping, and then, 10 minutes a game, it felt like. Well, it was a lot of me screaming, to be fair. All right, anyway. We are going to be watching the Thankful video. You guys have been asking me to watch this one ever since I watched the first fantasy one, so I don't know anything about him other than that he's just evil. He is evil among evil, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Everything from Pancreas is pretty fire. I already see the segment that I'm going to have to go through. All right, hang on. Here we go.
Warhammer has a lot of characters in it. Shocking, I know. Also
Wow.
surely shocking to you is that people tend to like some of these characters quite a bit. I myself, of course, am partial to the Prince and Emperor of Reichland, Karl Franz, but there's plenty of other characters that have cults of personalities around them as well. Just ask someone who's read the Night Lord's Omnibus. They'll scream at you about Talos for so long you'll think you've ended up in Whiterun by mistake. Everyone will argue to you about why X character they like is actually the greatest fella to ever exist in Warhammer. It's just how it is. Even Iron Hands fans can somehow argue for hours about how Ferrus Man...
Okay. This is what I want to understand. How can you argue for hours about Ferrus Manus? We almost joke about how he doesn't even get an episode of Adeptus Ridiculous. It's the poor guy. The poor Iron Hands with the Iron Hands aboard the Iron Hands for his Iron Hands.
Manus is interesting. It doesn't matter how prominent a character actually is in these settings. They all have their rabid fans. But one stands above all of them. There can only be one character in Warhammer that is truly the greatest of them all, and in this case, that title does not go to an Ultramarine. For this character, we must delve deeper. We have to enter into the layers of Skavendom to find him, for where else can we find the greatest character if not in the greatest faction? From wizards of boundless power to warriors of unparalleled...
Bro, that's so vicious. Ferrus Manus is a great Fulgrim plot device. Oh my god.
might, to even Gotrek and Felix themselves, the mightiest duo to ever grace Warhammer, all have been equally unable to rid the world of our true hero. The one, the only, Grey Seer Thanquol. In him you will find true bravery courage, endless magical might strength, and only the finest of tactical strategic minds to ever be seen in the universe. Today, we talk about not just a silly rat man, but the silly rat man.
The silly rat man!
But before we begin...
Oh no. Oh no, hold on. But before we begin, wait, what's this? Crazy. My finger is about to slip. Oh my goodness.
Festival tonight.
Ah.
Now then, time to pay respects not only to Thanquol, but Bone Ripper and his thousands of identically named brothers. Thanquol's origins aren't completely known, but by virtue of him being a Grey Seer, we can draw from what we know of them to make some reasonably educated guesses.
To be fair, I have no idea what the Grey Seers are at this point. I've only seen, what, 3 videos on Skaven? And mind you, Skaven's the only thing that I'm getting like any deep knowledge of in fantasy as far as Warhammer goes. I learned that my team led at my temp job is unironically an Iron Hands fan by accident the other day. They do exist. Lies and deceit.
Whatever clan he once came from, he was born with gray fur and horns growing out of his head, and so from birth he was already destined to become a Grey Seer. Becoming an apprentice to an existing Grey Seer named Sleekit, he was a model apprentice to his liege, just as dutiful, studious, and loyal to Sleekit as any apprentice would be to their own Skaven master. To translate that, he was dutiful in trying to get his fellow apprentices killed and framed for things, studious in all the ways he could potentially get his master
he started
killed
off
so
evil.
he could take his place, and of course, loyal enough that
Well, in fairness, all Skaven start off evil, right? But like he seems like to start off really evil.
when his master was crushed to death, Thanquol stayed just long enough to watch him die and steal Sleekit's staff and amulet so he could become a Grey Seer instead. Naturally, yes, Thanquol played a part in his master's demise. He's a Grey Seer, of course he was involved in his master's death. His fellow apprentices were all done in a...
Grey Seer is a rat mage. Like, I don't know why they should just call it rat mage. It just sounds so much more impactful. Be like, hey, what are you? I'm a rat mage. Honestly, I have been in my rat era. I have been playing TFT, and again, people will be like, "Oh, you're playing League," ugh. But like, you can ask Lurk or Apocalypse. I literally will hold on for dear life to get like 4th place to make sure I don't get taken out of the games. And I was like, I'm ratting, and I will just build the most cancerous builds possible to survive.
their own, though, or at least
Magic
without
rats.
Thanquol's direct help. In between his origin and Gotchic and Felix, not
Thanks,
too much
Electra.
happens, but at some point in his life he was picked up by Seer Lord Kritislik, the head of the Grey Seers and a member of the Council of 13. Thanquol was specifically chosen by the head of all Grey Seers to be his top guy, so you know his life is going to be fun to read about. Now this video is going to be a bit more of me yapping about all things Thanquol has done, because I just like talking about the funny rat more than anything, so how about we get into his first appearance. At first glance, the title of the book does not bode well for him, I must admit. Skaven Slayer, a Gotchic and Felix book. Thanquol at this point was deemed to have enough importance to the Council of 13 and Kritislik to be given command of the Skaven invasion of the imperial city of Nuln. The head of the Empire's engineering and gunpowder production, Nuln would be a great city to take down in any invasion of the Empire of Man. Thanquol was to lead the charge on this operation, and almost immediately he just couldn't help himself from being himself. Thanquol's initial plan to take over Nuln was in all honesty not a bad one. One of the heads of Nuln was, shall we say, not a fan of mutants even by Warhammer standards, but somehow in this insane man's mind, Skaven were okay to work with for a bit. They were outwardly bad, you see, whereas the insidious mutant lurks anywhere and should be dealt with first. This attitude led to him trusting Thanquol, a sentence that doesn't bode well for anyone. Thanquol's plan was to manipulate Fritz von Halstead, the individual in question, to eventually cause a civil war in the Empire by way of getting Karl Franz's brother-in-law killed. Fine plan, but unfortunately Gotchic and Felix tripped over it. At the time, they were working as sewer jacks and patrolling known sewers, not because they were specifically looking for Thanquol, but because those two are in a perpetual state of having no money and needing odd jobs to get by. And eventually they found Fritz speaking to a Skaven, eventually found out his identity, and tracked him down and killed him. Thanquol's part in this was to fight Felix, watch as Gotchic ripped his pet rat ogre in half with a single blow, and then wisely chose to be anywhere but where those two were at. But the Nuln saga continues, friends. Thanquol, as any good Skaven leader does, had underlings, most of the important ones from the various great clans of the Skaven. Molder, Scryer, all the big hits. These underlings started coming up with plans to take over Nuln, which would be great for anyone else, but for a Skaven leader, that's basically the end of the world. Those underlings will get the credit and alert the Council of 13 that Thanquol doesn't deserve to be in charge anymore. So Thanquol starts mailing Gotchic and Felix letters telling them about every single plan the Skaven are going to be working for. Because it can't be the Skaven that succeed, it has to be him, Grey Seer Thanquol, to take down Nuln. And because it's Gotchic and Felix, all of these plans are dealt with, some a bit less successfully than others, but nothing works well enough for the Skaven to take down Nuln. Clan Pestilence is going to spread some diseases with a super plague. Better send a letter to the Dwarf and the Manling to go stop them. Clan Scryer is going to steal the steam tank. Tell the dynamic duo to kill every rat involved. The best part of all of this is that Gotchic and Felix take a single look at these letters and go, a rat wrote this. This was clearly a Skaven that handed that to you. But they just shrug and listen anyways, because it keeps working out. From Thanquol's perspective, this is a genius act to deal with treacherous underlings and come out on top.
Treacherous! They're doing their job!
I guess this one rat really doesn't like the others. Might as well keep doing what he says. Eventually he starts cluing in on the fact that these two are perhaps going to cause him some trouble down the line, and since Clan Eshin assassins to kill him. Doesn't work. The Skaven Slayer stories are in the first omnibus, and there's 6 of those things. Of course it doesn't work. After this, there's an event where all of Nuln's nobility are together at a ball. The perfect time to strike. Nuln is invaded by the Skaven, everything is in chaos, and then Thanquol still cocks it up by not realizing he's in a Gotrek and Felix book. He also decided to ass-blast his chief assassin underling to Kingdom Come.
Oh my
Why did he
God.
do this? It wasn't much a fan of him, basically. Invasion foiled because Gotrek and Felix rallied the people and then kicked him out. Thanquol scurries away to plot another day. Now this was an embarrassing defeat for Thanquol, and it lost him quite a bit of money and power. And he knew if he returned to Skavenblight, the Council of 13 would ask him what the hell went wrong, and then probably kill him. So he gathered what money he had left and instead started investigating a dwarf outpost in the middle of nowhere, correctly figuring out that they were surely up to something over there. He did a bit of spying and almost shit himself because he saw the blonde man that had caused him so much trouble and knew his angry short redhead buddy wasn't far behind. So he throws his new forces at the outpost in a semi-panic, which fails, so there is very one sad...
What? You know that's gonna go south. Why not just go somewhere else? Why not? Why?
death scene for a dwarf who was stationed as a guard only to be poisoned to death as he alerts everyone the Skaven are here now. Thanquol's army ends up being routed, but not before he learns that the dwarfs had built themselves a war zeppelin. So he has his little ratty Skaven underling, Lurk Snitchtongue, that he's been abusing and having work as a spy, hitch a ride on the damn thing. Since he can see through this poor rat's eyes, he's constantly badgering him on updates on where the Thunder Barge is going.
Wait, how
Lurk,
can he do
who's
that?
trying to Skyrim stealth his way around a dwarf
Can all rat mages do that? Can all Grey Seers look through the eyes of other Skaven, or did he just torture this poor little dude?
Thunder Barge without getting caught, is constantly trying to hide not only his physical presence, but Thanquol's magical communications with them. At one point, he was forced to hide on the outside of the moving Zeppelin, while a chaos storm was happening outside. The poor dude was basically mutated into becoming a rat ogre because his boss wouldn't let him go home when his shift said he was supposed to be done. And when Thanquol meets back up with him, it's right before Gotrek and Felix are about to head to the Chaos Waste themselves. Thanquol, who had gathered another army of underlings courtesy of Clan Moulder to replace the last one that died under his command, ambushed where the Thunder Barge was briefly going to stop and resupply, as well as capturing Max Schreiber and Ulrika Magdava, two of Gotrek and Felix's good friends, to put it one way. When the main two fellas showed up alongside Snorri and Malachi, they all started fighting. Thanquol is himself, so of course Max and Ulrika were freed, and then Max and Thanquol started magically wrestling over the airship. And while I haven't really focused much on it, I need you to understand that Thanquol is an absurdly powerful wizard when he's at the top of his game. Especially after he's chowed down on Warpstone, he can blast damn near anyone out of his way, even if he might need a bit of a breather afterward. So were it not for Lurk suddenly surprising him and Snorri and Gotrek approaching him to disrupt his focus, he probably would have ripped the finest piece of dwarf engineering out of the sky. Even when Max joined the fight, the human wizard noted that Thanquol was absurdly powerful and he needed all of his focus to win. Eventually, though, Thanquol was beaten, and he fled this encounter with a teleporting spell after he realized that Gotrek was about 10 feet from him with murder in his eyes. Thanquol reappeared back in reality alone some distance away and realized that once again every one of his underlings, and for that matter all of his money, was gone, and he had no idea how to get back to Skavenblight. Lurk showed up, which wasn't really good news for Thanquol, because he was about as happy as anyone could be towards the person who made them sit outside in a rainstorm from hell. But Thanquol threatens to blast him with magic, so instead of fighting, they wander around, discover that a massive chaos...
So is Thanquol from how far back in like real time was Thanquol created? Because whenever I see art like this style, I'm always thinking that this is late 80s. Right? So like I'm wondering if like this was like late 80s that he was already in the lore, or if he was a newer edition. I don't know how long the Skaven have been in Warhammer Fantasy. I know that Warhammer in general is quite old. So whenever, like, again, this could always just be people who are doing an homage to that style. But yeah, this always feels like a very, very dated art. Over 20 years is still past 2000. 20 years ago was 2006. This is why we have a moment realizing that Death Note is 20 years old. All right, going back.
Chaos Horde is invading from the north because it's Warhammer, and that just happens sometimes,
Shut up,
and they end up in Clan Moulder territory. Lurk proceeds to go and start a revolution in Hell Pit by claiming he's the Horned Rat's son or some shit, while Thanquol gets thrown in jail because one of his underlings from Nuln survived and wasn't terribly happy with him. Thanquol's trying to desperately explain that chaos is coming, everyone, and the dude he's talking to is just like, yes, how very intriguing. Have you considered we don't care and I hate you? But Thanquol is Thanquol, and every god in the universe is smiling down down on him because he's the funny little rat guy, so of course he has a free ticket out of this problem too. Because Thanquol has a direct magical connection to Lurk that lets him know where he is and what he's doing, Lurk's slave revolt is completely halted, and Thanquol has once again gotten himself back into a stable-ish position. Thanquol is then given command of another army, and for once this actually goes well. While Gotrek and Felix were defending the city of Prague, Thanquol was just kind of randomly appearing throughout the book. Towards the end, he fights part of the same horde Gotrek and Felix were, and in his own words, despite not even outnumbering the enemy because there were only 4 Skaven for every 1 Chaos Warrior, victory was achieved. And props to him because, yeah, he just won the fight. There wasn't much going on with it. It was a side story in the main Gotrek and Felix book that amounted to a bunch of rats jumping Chaos Warriors who thought they were going to go fight someone else. But hey, a win is a win, and Thanquol is ready to enjoy some rewards for a resounding Skaven victory. Oh, and before I move on to his own books, at one point in the Gotrek and Felix books, Thanquol is using a far squeaker, basically Skaven Skype. It blew up in his face. This was an assassination attempt. This was also the singular time something went wrong in Thanquol's life that he didn't blame on sabotage by other people. It's peak. This rat is peak. We've reached the pinnacle of fictional characters right here.
Really?
So anyways, we cut to the events of his own books, and immediately he is being kidnapped by other Skaven. And the best part of this is, the book doesn't begin with him even conscious. He is dreaming of himself achieving ultimate power, only to be thwarted by Gotrek and Felix. Those two are literally in his nightmares. He spent such a massive amount of time thinking about that, even this relatively early into their story and his own. When he wakes up, he's tied to a pole being carried by other rats, and immediately, and I mean immediately, he starts blaming other people for his predicament. Sabotage by his underlings, incompetence by his underlings, the hated Gotrek and Felix things that keep ruining his plans. Nothing is ever his fault, of course. He's taken to the Council of 13, and when he meets with them, instead of congratulating him on defeating a random chaos army, they're like, "Hey buddy, where's the Zeppelin?" Then they drop him in a hole which he fears is the, quote, maze of inescapable death. But thankfully no, he finds out it's just the maze of merciless penance, which in theory you can survive. Also, of course the Skaven have things like that.
Why
wouldn't they have something called the Maze of Inescapable Death? Since he made it through the maze, Thanquol's restored to something
What? I know Games Workshop loves being on the nose. You really the Skaven have, like, mazes? Because, like, a rat maze? Like, really?
resembling a position of power, and is told to go snoop around Under Altdorf, the Skaven Undercity that's of course Under Altdorf. The council doesn't think those Skaven Under Altdorf and Under Altdorf are quite as loyal as they should be, plus there's an artifact of incredible power that's recently been uncovered there, and the Council of 13 wants it. So he goes to Under Altdorf, but not before he gets some chances to be himself for a bit, aka an asshole. For example, the Skaven have a single crop they grow called black corn. It's corn that tastes like rat shit, but by virtue of being food that isn't the corpse of another Skaven, having some is a sign of wealth. Thanquol is a picky eater, so he tosses some away to show how wealthy he is and to have other Skaven be jealous of him. On the ship that'll take him to Under Altdorf, he also kicks the Skaven boat captain in the face.
So he literally does this just to flex? He literally throws away the food just to flex on his other Skaven? That is insane. Like, even to his underlings, he's just flexing being a dick. That is amazing.
Who then starts beating his underlings and telling them to do better jobs, and the entire exchange ends with the crew of the ship Thanquol is on randomly whipping slaves because they feel slighted. Skaven society truly is a marvel of social engineering. As the book goes on, Thanquol finds more information about the artifact he's after, called the Wormstone because it makes weird worm things that aren't even technically alive. If a human touches it, they become violently ill until they dissolve into sludge. If a Skaven touches it, there is no ill period. They just die and make more worms. Now's a good time to mention something about Thanquol and his books. They're horror stories. For pretty much everyone that isn't a Skaven, Thanquol's books are an unrelenting march of terror as people wonder what is happening, how to stop it, realizing there's a dastardly Skaven ploy, that the Skaven are even real in some cases. Then we cut back to our rat, and it's right back to the eternal circus that is Thanquol's life. It's hard to put into words how utterly horrifying it is to be in one of his books if you aren't Thanquol. And the main antagonist of Grey Seer, because calling anyone but Thanquol the bad guy is woefully incorrect, proves this in many ways. There exists a shadow wizard in Altdorf known as Jeremiah Scrivener.
Oh,
He's
God.
a secretive protector of Altdorf, with a vast range of contacts and underlings from all walks of life, be they criminal, city watchmen, and even some dwarfs. The dude's so intimidating that's like a ghost when he walks in a room. People he's near can't see him if he doesn't expressly allow them to. They only feel a dark and foreboding presence. He makes the room he enters grow chill, ice starts creeping up on the mirrors, and of course, as a shadow wizard, he can manipulate shadows as he likes. The dude is so
All I think of is Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells. Why has internet culture ruined me?
powerful that he semi-regularly astral projects to talk to Slan. He knows his stuff. And aside from being terrifying to the human characters of Grey Seer, the few times he's relatively open about what threats they face, he's talking about a threat that can completely destroy Altdorf. This unending tide of vermin beneath the city, led by a mastermind rat, hatching a plot that can destroy all
Unending
of it.
tide
Worst
of vermin.
of all, he's right,
Vermin
because
tide.
the Skaven eventually decide to use the Wormstone to poison all of Altdorf's water supply in the most horrific way possible. The entire book for the human characters is an absolute nightmare, and as the human characters find various people afflicted by the Wormstone's plague, as well as encounter the Skaven, you can see just why people are utterly terrified of the Ratmen. Then we cut back to Thanquol, and it's just a sequence of him being an asshole, or a traitor, or both. He meets the ruler of Under Altdorf, who reveals he wants to become ruler of all Skavendom, whereupon Thanquol decides this treacherous act must be stopped. It should be Thanquol who uses the Wormstone to become powerful in the eyes of the Council of 13, or even take it over himself. And then he does a line of Warpstone because the man's heavily addicted to it. He does
Fair.
Warp Snuff sometimes too, which I'm pretty sure is just crack. I know Warpstone is already pretty similar to Coke, but Warp Snuff is like that, but it doesn't boost your powers. Grey Seer
Oh.
is probably my least favorite of the three books, so I won't spend too much time on it, but please do not take that to mean it's any lesser of a read. That'd be like saying out of these 3 gold bars, this one's the smallest, so it's completely worthless. As the book progresses, Thanquol makes about 50 different alliances.
Oh, speaking of books, while my display for the Arcs of Omen is not set up yet, I did put my my Son of the Forest signed book in a Detolf display, so it's on display now because it's just so damn cool. Just out there. Thank you again, guys, for that.
Through begging, lying, promising to backstab someone else, and then actually backstabbing someone else before repeating. There is also, at one point, another Bone Ripper involved. This one has 3 arms and is supposedly the largest one yet. It dies, because of course it does. It does basically kill this monstrous clan pestilence diseased rat creature thing before it can get Thanquol though, which Thanquol does appreciate. In fact, the only things I think he ever has any semblance of positive, genuine emotions towards are his various rat ogres that he always immediately names Bone Ripper. Doesn't stop him from hitting them or berating them, of course, it just means that when they do something nice, he might actually seem appreciative. Eventually we come to a climactic battle where Thanquol is fighting his rival Skaven, who is incidentally Lord Skrulk, but even this early on, anyone who isn't Thanquol is completely tertiary to Thanquol and Thanquol's plans, respectively. All the Skaven involved are also fighting Jeremiah Scrivener and his ragtag army. Thanquol had dueled with him on several occasions throughout the book, and the entire time it was from the Shadowmancer's perspective. He's watching this rat counter almost every trick he has, where even though he mostly has the upper hand, the Grey Seer is clearly a dangerous foe. Then we cut back to Thanquol, and it's back to being a comedy. He's chewing on Warpstone both for the power and the comfort throughout the fight, and also whenever he's on Warpstone, as an aside, he briefly becomes even more of a megalomaniac before he reins himself in a bit. This manifests throughout the entire series, and in this case it leads to him promising to kill Scrivener, Skrulk, all of Under Altdorf, all of Altdorf. If Thanquol is railing a line, he's ready to fight the entire planet. In this book, he's also the Skaven version of Batman, because he bought a bunch of good luck charms, magic scrolls, and magical amulets that maybe half of which are actually magical and he didn't just get scammed. He loses the final fight of the book, but he whips out a teleportation scroll and just dips. And the way the book ends truly, oh good lord, is it funny.
Divinity or Baldur's Scroll for that, right? Has to be. It's so familiar looking. I always love trying to dissect like where Pancreas gets some of his stuff from. Like I always love his music that he has from Age of Mythology, right? But like I feel like this picture is from one of the two.
Thanquol teleports out with barely a clue where he is, and he's surrounded by cats for some reason. Obviously, not doing great after everything that had just happened. But just then, some fat old lady comes in, sees him, and faints in terror. And I swear to you, I'm not just being mean when I say that. Thanquol calls her one of the plumpest examples of humans he's ever seen. The final sentences of the book are him trying to come up with a lie for the Council of 13 as to why he couldn't retrieve the Wormstone, and him praising the Horned Rat for gifting him such a bountiful meal in the form of that soon-to-be very dead old lady. Some fantasy books end with the hero rescuing the princess and saving the day. Others end with the promise of hope on the horizon, even if much work needs to be done to reach it. Warhammer fantasy books end with a rat man eating a fat lady after he does drugs. Best series by far.
Alright then.
So Thanquol's doing a bit better now after that book. Not by too much, but he is doing better. Manages to avoid being executed by the Lords of Decay too, even if Clan Eshin's lords clearly had plans for him. He decides to take himself on a walk through Skaven Blight and even buys himself another Bone Ripper. All in all, he's doing pretty good. Then a bunch of garbage Skaven assassins try to kill him, the real competent one tries to poison him, and then he tries to get Thanquol killed via Skaven Crowd Crush. It was funny because when he saw the 3 Goober assassins walking towards him, he was in utter disbelief. He looked at them and was in complete shock at how bad they were at their job, visibly approaching him wearing what looked like assassin garb and drawing knives. Then the actual assassins started fighting, and he understood what was happening then. Him and Bone Ripper number 4, I think we're on 4 now, drive off these assailants, and Thanquol scuttles away to the room he's renting. Then he gets jumped by Deathmaster Sniksh, who cuts down Bone Ripper in seconds and brings him to Nightlord Sneak, Grandmaster of Clan Eshin. Our absurd rat protagonist should by all
The amount of absurd names is a little hard to follow. I'm doing my best.
reason and logic be dead, but for reasons I simply cannot comprehend, people keep trying to use Thanquol for some reason. His track record is noticeably failure after failure by this point, but if I had to guess, it's both because he makes an easy fall guy, and when you want a wizard on the cheap, threatening Thanquol is a good way to go about that. Thanquol is now involved in a Clan Eshin scheme to assassinate a prophet of Sotek, whose name I'm not even going to pretend to try and say. It's a red-crested skink, it isn't the goober you probably only know for having a bad Total Warhammer campaign, and he resides in his city only relatively recently, being re-inhabited by the Lizardmen after Clan Pestilence made it all icky. For a brief cut into what the non-Skaven characters will be doing in this book, it is as follows. The human characters, and briefly an elf, are going through hell as they're marooned in Lustria and subjected to all the hells of this continent, fighting both the jungle itself and the Lizardmen inside. For Aslan, the entire book was orchestrated by him as he tries to figure out if the cult of Sotek the Skinks have is actually a good thing or not, since the Slan really aren't sure on if Sotek is a good or a bad thing for the great plan. All the suffering of everyone involved in this book is the Slan's fault, because for some reason they can't determine if the god of their minions that despises the Skaven is a force for good or not. Anyways, back to the Rat Man. Thanquol is immediately upset to find out he's not the one in charge of the expedition, and almost immediately after learning this, begins devising ways to get the true leaders killed. Naturally, none of these methods he comes up with are how it happens, because Thanquol's an idiot. Once the Skaven themselves arrive in Lustria, they start scouting out how to find the Temple of the Serpent and Sotek's prophet. Of course, first a few dozen of them are eaten alive by sharks, but
I just love the fact that he seems like he's completely, inept in every way, but he just is just insanely powerful. I don't know why. It's like a weird balancing act that makes him very entertaining.
It's hardly worth mentioning. Oh no, a Skaven died. Grass is green and I need insulin. What a big reveal. What is worth mentioning is something that was brought up by the human and elf characters during one of the segments. In the southern tip of Lustria is a high elf settlement they briefly plan to escape to. In between them and that settlement lies the Vampire Coast. Now for the humans, because by the time
the Slan is probably taller than you even when seated. How tall are the Slan? I'm literally 5'5". I'm literally 5'5", Josh.
They do anything productive, the elf has been murdered by skinks, this is not an issue. For the Skaven and Thanquol, this is an issue. Because throughout their bumbling in the swamps, they trip over a particular bit of swamp infested with zombies that start eating them. Thanquol switches rapidly back and forth between cowardice and actually fighting before he's jumped by the same first Skaven assassin from earlier. This assassin is actually one of his underlings from Skaven Slayer who wanted revenge for Thanquol getting him and his fellows killed and humiliated. And the thing is, this whole time Thanquol's putting in the work. He basically goes full red rage and brutalizes a bunch of zombies, and he manages to bash the assassin in the face and cause them to be dragged down by the zombies. Thanquol, when he locks in, is apparently an incredibly deadly melee combatant. He also has one of my favorite moments ever. When the assassin jumped him in the swamp, he has a brief moment of contemplation afterwards and goes, wait a minute, I know exactly who the assassin is and who's trying to kill me, and then proceeds to blame entirely the wrong Skaven for this. He goes insane in melee again, too. As everyone gets to the Temple of Sotek over the story's course, there's naturally both lizardmen and spawning pools to make more of them. Thankul eventually captures the human characters to allow him entrance into the temple, because he needs a human to destroy the anti-Skaven wards around it. They get in and discover that there's a massive, sacred snake at the center of the temple. Thankul ends up being vaguely involved in getting the other Skaven killed, because while as Skaven they can plan backstabs with the best of them, Thankul might as well have the divine.
Also, I apologize that I'm not chiming in as much on this video. It's just I'm trying to absorb. There's not too many questions that I'm getting from this. I'm just kind of following along, learning more about the character. So it's not as interactive as some of my other reactions. Definitely, but like I'm very engaged in learning about this goober.
And protection from the horned rat, and no one can really hurt him. Eventually, it comes down to Thankul and one of the humans who had been forced into the temple by Thankul. He saw the human surrounded by lizardmen, realized he was going to be next if the human died, and went utterly ballistic. He slaughtered dozens of skinks in melee combat while Bone Ripper was fighting a Croxagore. There's a new Bone Ripper, by the way. It was a rat ogre one of the previous leaders owned, until Thankul decided it was his now. There was a lot of threatening and blackmail involved. I wouldn't worry about the specifics of how he acquired this one. It's not long for the world. Once that was dealt with, Thankul and the human began searching for another human, because Thankul knew he needed the first human as insurance, and so did the human in question. They eventually find said captured human, and Thankul immediately makes a break for it. The human he was with shoots the Prophet of Sotek because the skink was about to do that Indiana Jones rip your heart out of your chest move on his kind of girlfriend, and Thankul—
Wait, what is the geomantic web? I just saw a comment. Slan don't allow themselves to touch the ground for fear of being adversely affected by the geomantic web. Huh.
just booked it. The human he was traveling with and his kind of girlfriend go do their own thing. Does not end well, spoiler alert. But Thankul and Bone Ripper, oh, this pair isn't done, because they begin tracking the assassin who had survived the zombie mud pit back to the ship that carried them there. Surprisingly, they track him back to the ship, and not only did the assassin not sail away already, but he was already dead. On the downside, though, he was dead because those zombies from earlier boarded the ship and killed the assassin. Thankul and Bone Ripper go ham for a bit once again before Thankul realizes, uh-oh, I'm using warp fire magic. And one of those zombies he cooked had just fallen into the ammunition storage of the ship. So Thankul dives off the ship onto a raft into the water, and it takes just long enough for him to feel stupid about doing so before the powder storage goes off and the entire ship blows up. Thankul survives if a bit shaken up, and Bone Ripper actually makes it out as well. The red ogre claws his way onto the raft Thankul's on, to which Thankul in his mind starts calling Bone Ripper a useless idiot for daring to claw his way to safety near his master. And then, much like the Grinch, Thankul got an idea. A terrible, awful idea. The raft Thankul was on had water, but not much food. Bone Ripper number whatever we're on was basically dead and already at least a little bit cooked. So the last we see of Thankul's point of view in this book is him once again thanking the Horned Rat for providing him food as he proceeds to begin getting ready to eat his pet. This is now the second book in a row where Thankul's finished it by eating a living creature. The rest of this book is full of amazing little moments too. Like I mentioned earlier, Thankul didn't buy or was gifted this Bone Ripper like he normally was. It was initially a bodyguard for one of the other Skaven leaders of the expedition. Thankul spends a lot of time up to a certain point complaining that a real—
Bro, I have a really horrible story. Here you go. Here's your unique content for this, right? I have a horrible story of when I worked in veterinary, and it's it's gonna be a messed up one when it's coming and it's being I'm reminded of it by the Skaven, so it's gonna be bad. There was once a little old lady who would come into our practice. And now remember, New York City, we have some very bougie people. I was working in a very high-end area when I was working in the hospital. And this one woman named her cat Squeaks. She named it Squeak, right? And the thing was, it was Squeak number 5. So she would go through them and she would just name them Squeak 1, Squeak 2. I was there through Squeak 5 and 6 because she did not see them as anything other than property. So she literally did not give them any identity. So she would just name them all the same thing every time. And she was also terrible because like she not with our practice, but she would go get her cats declawed, which I believe is illegal in New York. But she would go and get them declawed, which I think is horrendous as well. Yeah, no, she was not a person who saw her animal as her pet. It was pretty bad. I mean, if I go into my tangents about some of like the more unhinged things I've dealt with when in veterinary, you guys would be very upset. I don't talk about them on Twitch too often because people get sad. People get sad with my vet stories. Unlike the interesting stuff, like when I talk about diving or like the people I've met when I was working as a bartender, the vet stories are just really sad because people are terrible. Yeah, no, I put it this way. We had a dog whose vocal cords were cut because they barked too much. That would come into the practice, and I remember asking why the dog didn't bark. And it was always wearing a bandana because it had a big scar across its neck. Yeah, no, there's the veterinary stories are you learn some really messed up stuff. I have funny stories too, but we'll share those another time.
Skaven wizard doesn't need something as pathetic as a rat ogre bodyguard to be safe and look tough. But then the singular moment he gets to be in charge, he immediately commandeers the rat ogre and renames it Bone Ripper. This kind of thing is constant too. He will regularly lambaste other people for things he says are wrong and he dislikes, but then nanosecond things go in his favor, everything he complains about is suddenly perfectly valid. The concept of shame has never entered Thanquol's mind, and I'm glad.
What's worse is I have worse stories. I'm just not going to tell you them. Because like I don't tell the vet stories on YouTube because I'm pretty sure a lot of them would get demonetized because of how dark they are. That is like those two are two of the lightest ones I have. Those are two of the lightest ones I have. Like I would traumatize you guys. I would legitimately traumatize you with some of the stories I have, and I don't want to do that because I love you all. Mwah.
I don't want him to ever feel shame. If he felt shame, I'm pretty sure he'd melt. The pinnacle, though, isn't from Thanquol's point of view. It's from the Slann who started this mess. At least some Slann view the world as mathematical equations. Magic, the people living in it, all part of one big mathematical equations of the old ones. This Slann in particular calls the various humans and rats low-variation fractals. They can change things and be a bit random, but you can figure them out for the most part pretty easily. Much like the rest of the Slann and Lizardmen, he also hates rats. Even more so than demons, they despise the Skaven. And at the end of the book, the Slann has Thanquol completely at his mercy without Thanquol ever knowing. As Thanquol was sailing away, he could have done any number of things to sink and kill him, but he concluded that leaving Thanquol alive would cause more harm to the Skaven than it would bring everyone else benefit to kill him. The Slann seeing the world as math just makes it so much more perfect. It literally did the math, consulted all the formulas, and the end result of the magical calculation was Thanquol equals more dead rats. I don't know if I should feel good about myself or not after reading that, genuinely. Because if you ever want to feel confident, know that you surely aren't as pathetic and harmful to those around you that someone who considers you worse than demons would let you live. But on the other hand, that's one hell of an accomplishment. Imagine Doomguy leaving a demon alive because it'll kill so many more demons alive than the one dead demon you get by killing it. That's legitimately impressive. That's a level of shit that no one can hope to aspire to.
Yeah, that's actually insane.
So Thanquol's doom is already off to a good start because it begins with the Slann from before talking to the Shadowmancer from the first book about how Thanquol is going to be a huge problem for a dwarfhold the wizard has an agent in. On the end of the dwarfs of this book is a mad dash to stop the Skaven invasion of the hold. A rather radical dwarf who's a pretty chill dude with respect for progress and tradition invents automatic machine gun turrets because we're going full steampunk this book, and it's overall good stuff, but we aren't here for them. We're here for the clown.
Yeah, but to eat him on the vocal cord thing, I don't know the specifics of it because that dog only came into the practice like a couple times. When I was there, I was only there for a few times of it. I never really pried. All I know is like what my boss told me like about it because like you don't ask the clients. Like you don't ask the clients because like that's just you don't. Like for various reasons you don't. Man, I want to tell you guys so many stories. Oh my god, now it's like opening Pandora's box. I'm not going to today, but man, do I want to tell you guys stories.
And by God is Thanquol on form from the get-go. It begins with him washing ashore into a real shithole of a settlement even by Skaven standards, but one under the thrall of a greater clan, so he can't just start evaporating people. He bullies himself into being in charge, kind of. He tries to secure passage out on a boat, kind of succeeds. Then the local Skaven warlord decides it'd be a good idea to jump Thanquol. Now at first, it's portrayed as a bit of a predicament, with a whole lot of rats ready to rob and kill our boy. Then the Skaven warlord makes a crucial mistake, because Thanquol is a PTSD-ridden little goober. The Skaven in charge rubs his thumb along his weapon's edge and draws a little bit of blood. It's a nothing action. It's at most a little idle tick the Skaven warlord apparently has. Unfortunately, another character who does the same thing before a fight is, of course, Gotrek Gerdison, and Thanquol very well remembers it, so he freaks out and evaporates the dude on the spot with magic. Some dwarf slaves break free, Thanquol starts burning people with his staff, the slaves start killing Skaven, Thanquol commandeers his new boat and heads to Skaven Blight. Now, have you ever read, like, poorly written fan fiction or something where the author's self-insert character meets all the established ones and everyone loves them because of Mary Sue stuff? Well, Thanquol is kind of like the inverse of that. He meets plenty of big-name Skaven characters, he's been around the block. He met Lord Skrulk in his first book, who tried to kill him. He met Deathmaster Snikch, who very easily could have killed him and only didn't do so because Clan Eshin could use him for their goals. And shortly into Thanquol's doom, we start meeting more characters. Thanquol has learned by this point from the various attempts on his life, and once he's reacquired himself a bunch of new minions and bodyguards, he starts taking various back alleyways to get to where he's going. I can't fault him for his caution. Legitimately, Thanquol can be dangerously intelligent sometimes. It's like he's the uncanny valley of intelligence. If he were even the least bit smarter, he'd be the single most dangerous being in existence. Archaon wouldn't be the Everchosen, it'd be this rat. But he's missing those last few IQ points to clear the valley, so he slides back down into being the world's biggest idiot. Anyways, the alley plan doesn't work. Snikch shows up and kills all his servants, and tells him to say nothing about his involvement in killing the prophet of Sotak. And God bless his little rat soul, in this moment Thanquol was just utterly confused. Not even in a how can I spin this to my advantage and get out alive kind of way. He was just genuinely unable to understand why this should be kept a secret. He even says the words almost verbatim, but I did kill the prophet of Sotak, because like I said, we couldn't clear the uncanny idiot valley, so Thanquol really hit Snikch with, but I did have breakfast today. When Snikch leaves, Thanquol's bodyguards are all dead, and it turns out his servants actually lived. They just stole all his belongings during the fighting and dipped, and then he gets kidnapped again.
Oh my God!
Council of 13, back to being used by them for
Throw him back
purposes.
in the maze.
He was already being strong-armed by some other Skaven into assisting them assault the dwarf hold I'd mentioned earlier, and now the Council of 13 is telling him to keep doing that, but for their own schemes. And then, the party gets ambushed during transit to the hold, where Thanquol bravely trips a clan rat over and uses him as a human shield. He decides that won't actually work because the weapons firing at them are blowing cannonball-sized holes in Skaven, so he pushes the other rat forward and then scurries away. Turns out this latest ambush was orchestrated by none other than Ikit himself, who showed up with rats wearing power armor. Thanquol does at least get an inverse Caiaphas Cain moment. He scurries back out of hiding, and all the assembled rats, even the scryer ambushers, look at him with awe and a little bit of dread. In his mind, it's because he thinks his legend has grown so much that all who see him bow in subservience. In actuality, it's because the scryer rats thought they lit him on fire, and it appeared like he just shrugged off their warp fire throwers. Neither of these things are true, but all of reality conspires to keep Thanquol around, so it's best to just roll with it. Thanquol immediately begins trying to showboat, only to be shut down at every turn. The Skaven earlier had at least given him a, quote, gift bribe in the form of the first Bone Ripper resurrected with the Scryer technology, which he naturally once again calls Bone Ripper. Thanquol, after the ambush, tried to pretend he told Bone Ripper to not harm the Scryer rats, only for Ikit to laugh and tell him this one has a shutdown valve that prevents it from hurting any members of Clan Scryer. Thanquol then proceeds to look increasingly stupid as he keeps trying to see what Ikit had hidden under a tarp. Turns out this was the beginning of a Doom Sphere, aka a Skaven nuke. It didn't work due to dwarf sabotage, but Ikit nearly blew up the entirety of both Skavendom and the dwarf holds for no other reason than he wanted to prove he could build the biggest bomb ever. For those of you who are about to say that's a very 40k orky thing to do, no, it is not. Orcs are very Skaven-y sometimes, is what that is. Now, I'm gonna jump to the end here for the most part, because as much as Thanquol is great in all of this book, it's more of what I've been talking about. But the ending is truly Thanquol at his best. Over the course of the book, a mummified paw of a terrible Skaven lord was found that could boost one's magical power, connection to the horned rat, and even summon a vermin lord. Thanquol, of course, gets his paws on this paw, and eventually it's used to summon a vermin lord into the mortal world. Or at least, he wanted to use it to do that. Thanquol, when he first got it, immediately felt something was off with it. Another Grey Seer he'd been forced to travel with used it to try and kill him, and Thanquol noted it made him even more insane than a Grey Seer having a power trip normally is. If Thanquol is noticing you've gone crazy, something is terribly wrong with whatever is doing that to you. So he mostly just stored it in his pocket and used it to make threats. Moving to the end of the book, Thanquol has ended up coming into contact with the Clan Moor's army led by Queek Headtaker, because at this point the Thanquol books are all an excuse to have well-known Skaven characters try to beat the shit out of our boy. Queek tries to kill him, and at one point when Thanquol says that's rat heresy, he tells Thanquol that Queek has given many heads, and so the Horned Rat won't mind him killing just one Grey Seer, which is both cool and terrifying to Thanquol. As Queek and Clan Moors begin assaulting the dwarf hold of the book one more time, Thanquol realizes he's almost certainly screwed between the dwarfs and Queek actively trying to kill him, so he uses the mummified Skaven paw to bring forth an ancient vermin lord born of the powerful seer of legend. Except it was a little bit tampered with. It summoned a greater demon, alright, but instead of a vermin lord, it summoned motherfucking Scarbrand. Queek immediately runs away and gains an even greater hatred of Grey Seers than he already had, and Scarbrand just starts axing people left and right. The dwarfs and remaining Skaven go insane until the main dwarf character of the book can drop a statue of Alaya on Scarbrand's head, and even then Scarbrand still has time before his total banishment to basically tell Thanquol to give him a call whenever he wants. Scarbrand gave Thanquol a murderous booty call to reiterate that sentence. The book ends with Thanquol skittering away once again, offering prayers.
So wait, so Thanquol now can use Scarbrand whenever he wants? Did he literally just get like a free pass to summon Scarbrand whenever he wants? Huh?
To both the Horned Rat and Khorne himself just to cover all his bases, but not before he blasted the dwarf who killed Scarbrand with magic to make himself feel better about the entire mess. And hey, on the bright side for something in these books, the rebuilt Bone Ripper lived, and since it was the reanimated corpse of the first one ever, technically
our man Thanquol just casually booty calls Scarbrand, you know, as you do. Scarbrand hates being mildly inconvenienced. He summons Scarbrand by accident. Oh my god.
This removes one dead Bone Ripper from the tally. Progress. Thanquol would go on to do his normal thing from here, of falling almost completely from grace only to somehow claw his way back to being entrusted with entire armies and stashes of wealth. How he does this, no one knows. He's simply too garbage to actually fail, because it loops around into him being unstoppable. In the Gotrek and Felix novel Elf Slayer, Thanquol decided he was done living in fear of the dynamic duo, so he tortured Felix's dad and information as to where he was and then killed him. Then he started sending waves of Skaven assassins after Gotrek.
Wait, he killed Felix's dad? Damn, okay, that's an escalation.
Gotrek and Felix. The latter thing was unsuccessful, as you could no doubt guess, but the former resulted in Felix eventually taking on almost dwarf levels of vengeance seeking against our rat boy. Thanquol hatched another plan, however. Learning that the duo was mucking about in the swamps of Marienburg, he managed to have them captured and brought aboard a Skaven submarine. Don't ask about that. The Skaven has submarines, I guess. He finally has our heroes tied up, and does he revel in it. He starts bragging about all the torture he's going to inflict on them, how he's going to make them suffer as they made him suffer, 20 years of indignation at their hands and their hands alone. To Thanquol, this duo was ultimately responsible for every single thing that went wrong in his life, be that directly or as a result of them foiling prior plans of his. And right as he's really getting into it, Felix asks Thanquol who he is. And in that moment, you could hear the world come to a halt. You could hear the singular gear in Thanquol's brain screech to a stop as he tried to process what's going on. It was as if he couldn't decide if he heard Felix correctly, or if all the warp stone and warp snuff he'd taken over the years was finally taking its toll on his health. And then Felix double-checked with Gotrek to see if the dwarf knew who Thanquol was, only for Gotrek to respond with, "They all look the same to me, manling." And in that moment, Thanquol broke. Not for long, because you can't keep him down, but he simply did not know how to process the fact that his most hated enemies, who to him were constantly foiling his schemes to spite him, had no idea who he was, and every time they did so, it was basically just a random.
Scarbrand is the only bloodthirster to attack Khorne from behind and dented his armor. This is due to Zinj. Khorne threw him, flew for 8 days.
Counter. The rest of him in that book is him zoning in on trying to capture the artifact Gotrek, Felix, and the other characters of the book were searching for, which not only fails, but the submarine sinks, Gotrek and Felix get away, and Thanquol has to survive the ocean's currents once more. He failed to kill his nemesis because he got greedy, but that was fine. This was just one more setback on Thanquol's inevitable rise to power. He may have lost a hand in the process, but between his magical amulet that regenerates wounds that he just has on him and his own power, even that was just a temporary problem.
Scarbrand isn't just any greater demon, Thankful summoned Khorne's greatest bloodthirster, who now only feels hate and rage after the Tzeentch plot. Quickest ego death in Skaven history, honestly.
And out of all the end times lore there is, this goofball was one of the few who came out on top during it. Thankful was apparently part of the Skaven forces that destroyed Tylea, and shockingly did well enough or took enough credit from others that he was able to reach the height of his wealth and political power. Seer Lord Kritislisk, fucking I don't know how to say that man's name. Seer Lord Kritislisk, meanwhile, was accused of being a real goober by pretty much every Skaven of any worth. And then the Horned Rat himself showed up in the mortal world and ate the Seer Lord.
Oh.
The Skaven then unify, if only out of fear of also being eaten, and Thankful for his part gets to finally invade and conquer the city of Nuln as he once did all those years ago. And then finally we were given our proof.
The Chaos Gods can just materialize on the main plane of the world in fantasy. That's something.
Proof that the Divine truly do smile upon Thankful, if only because they find him incredibly funny. Because as the new replacement Seer Lord, the most influential Skaven there is, the Horned Rat looked at every Grey Seer possible and then found Thankful. And lo did the Horned Rat look at our man and say, You are my top guy. You are the funny one who will bring my word to the world. And then Thankful was the new Seer Lord. The Vermin Lord Screech Vermin King gives Thankful a new and improved Bone Ripper. Thankful forges the Skaven alliance with Archaon and Chaos, and as the end times reach their zenith, Thankful alongside his god helps drag Skaven Blight into the warp. He did it. He became the Skaven of all time. Now in Age of Sigmar, we didn't have word on Thankful for a bit. But what we did have, eventually, was word of a mysterious figure of power and influence, a being known only as the Grey Lord, who demanded fear and obedience from his underlings. When we first learn of this being, we're told of a character commanding some pretty powerful people, and surely only a figure of true might could command such respect, and shit, it's Thankful, isn't it? It's gonna be Thankful. Thankful nearly destroyed the city of Hammerhall, which is one of the most important cities for the forces of Order in Age of Sigmar. It seems he's finally become the feared and renowned Skaven leader he was always meant to be here. But the flip side of Thankful being blessed to never die is that he's cursed to never actually...
I thought by the end times, the Horned Rat was a Chaos God. I thought that he took the seed of Slaanesh before the end times. Or was it only in Sigmar?
Win in the end, because just as he made it to AOS, so too did none other than Gotrek Gurnison himself. No Felix, but the dwarf has come back with a vengeance, and now he sees Thankful as a proper enemy. Thankful has to freak out to end all freakouts as he learns Gotrek survives, and an uncountable number of years worth of PTSD crashes onto him all at once, and orders the dwarf to be killed immediately. The two clash in the book Blood of the Old World over a realm gate that leads to Warhammer Fantasy, and while Gotrek gets a tearful goodbye with Felix through the rubble and the portal, Thankful does what he does best and runs the hell away. Now he plots and schemes anew, waiting to once again...
Does Felix die in the end times? Does Felix die in end times? Because that's what that sounds like. Huh.
And try and achieve total dominance over all there is. Also, he saved all of Skavenblight from drowning in AOS. He ran away afterwards, though, not only because he was afraid other Skaven figures would have him killed for his success, not only because his plans killed so many Skaven that even the other rat men thought it was excessive, but also because he might have had a part in Skavenblight being flooded to begin with. And also there were zombies as part of the flood. There goes my hero. For lore positives of Thankful, all of them. He is the Skaven. If you like Skaven, you should like Thankful. There's nothing else to be said here.
Yeah,
if you as a Skaven player somehow don't like Thankful, you need to forfeit your Skaven army immediately. Horned Rat casts 10,000 curses of brain explode upon you. But beyond that, if you want an army that will always destroy the enemy, you want Thankful leading your army. Let's say you somehow play the worst game of Warhammer ever conceived. You don't destroy a single enemy model and get tabled turn 3. Doesn't matter. The aftermath of your tabletop match's lore will be something Thankful had planned going horribly wrong in a way that causes all of his enemies to simultaneously go insane and then blow up.
I love
Thankful
that.
getting a victory isn't the thing you have to worry about. It's how he loses that's going to bring low your enemies. Although, of course, a loss for Thankful isn't truly a loss. It's just one more setback on the road to endless glory. Know in your heart that when Thankful has been deployed to the field of battle, he can never truly lose. He simply postpones victory a little while longer. Even if his model is destroyed, it's fine. It's simply one more bone ripper to add to the pile as he scurries away.
No, Strider, thank you. No. You guys are already quirky. I appreciate it, but no.
For rules positives and current AOS 4th edition, Thanquol has 8 inches of movement, 14 health, 5 control, and a 4-up save, as well as a 5-up ward save. Surprisingly tanky, even by non-Skaven standards. He's only a power level 2 wizard, which he no doubt finds incredibly insulting, but he rides forth on Bone Ripper to make up for these flaws. Bone Ripper's able to brutalize enemies quite alright. His warp fire projectors are a nice way to get some ranged damage in on an enemy closing in, fairly reliably hitting and being quite reliable at wounding. His fists are a bit less accurate, but wound just as easily and deal 3 damage a pop, while Thanquol hitting you in the face with his magic staff is definitely less reliable, but potentially just as deadly with D3 damage. He's gone berserk in melee throughout his stories, remember, just because he's now old as hell doesn't mean he's any less deadly. As for his special abilities, his staff gives him +1 to casting rolls. Nothing flashy, but always an ability you love to see. He has an inbuilt spell that makes enemies unable to use commands and start beating each other to death to deal damage, and since it's flavored as him causing madness, I choose to believe it's his enemies realizing they're facing the mortal realm's most destructive moron and going insane over that. Once per turn during a combat phase, he can inflict anywhere from a D3 to 2d3 mortal damage on a target he's currently fighting, and at the end of a turn, he gets to heal D3 wounds. That first one lets Bone Ripper smash damn near anything he's in melee with into paste, and the last one is just free healing. There's never a time you won't appreciate free healing. For lore downsides, nah, I ain't doing that today. You get no lore downsides with Thanquol from me. I love him too much. As we've already determined, if he loses, it doesn't count, and if you kill him, you only killed Bone Ripper number 40,000. Any further potential downsides you can think of for Thanquol, such as your army being led by a massive coward who regularly gets his own underlings killed, is propaganda slander by the most vile of treacherous minions and rivals, yes. As for tabletop downsides, he is definitely a bit pricey at 360 points. You get a wizard who can kick ass in melee and regenerate for the cost, so I'd say you're definitely getting your money's worth, but just beware that if he goes down, nearly a quarter of a 2k point army is going with him. This next one, meanwhile, is more of a piece of advice than a downside, but I wouldn't recommend charging him headfirst into the center of your enemy's army just because he can kick ass. A D3 of healing and a decent save only counts for so much.
I do wish I understood
looks at
this
him
part
and
of it.
begins beating his ass. On a semi-related note, as a big old monster unit, he can also be vulnerable
even
to
as someone
being
who has no
tar-pitted,
intent of
so
playing,
try and make sure he doesn't
just
spend the
collecting,
entire match failing
do wish
to
I
finish
understood
off
it.
a bunch of goblins or something like that. You'll feel very silly after that happens. He loses attacks as he takes wounds as well, but that's pretty standard for monstrous units in Warhammer. Just something to be aware of. And that was Grey Seer Thanquol. Amongst the Skaven, none shine brighter than he, because for miles around, the world can see his screw-up shining
from all
bright
the,
as a star. Thank you as
warp
always, my
stone.
wonderful channel members. You are the Bone Ripper to my Thanquol, providing me invaluable support no matter how much I hit you in the face with a stick. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to subscribe or become a member. Either way, thank you for watching, and take care out there.
That was great. That was great. I like Thanquol. Thanquol's actually fantastic. He's a wonderful character. I mean, terrible, but a wonderful character. All right, we get a little bit of an extra tidbit at the end. He's the best Skaven. Yes. I need to start doing this. I need to start putting your names up for like the patrons and stuff like that. No, okay, there was no extra thing. He didn't give us a little extra tidbit. Pancreas, what's going on? That was great though. I love that. I love that. I mean, everything about the Skaven so far I've been really enjoying. Hold on. Hold please. Hey Tetra, long-time lurker, first-time commenter, also my first time catching you live. I'm sure you already know this, but if you're at all interested in Age of Sigmar, Pancreas is a video on the factions, isn't it? First of all, thank you so much. That is incredibly kind and generous of you. And absolutely, I didn't even think that I was going to delve into fantasy this early, because 40k is almost insurmountable. But it's been nice kind of just adding the fantasy elements in, learning it. I will eventually be adding Age of Sigmar in too, because I kind of want to understand all of it. But, you know, there's going to be a long haul. It's a long haul for the channel as a whole. You know, it's a massive amount of content for me to consume. I'm doing my best, and I will absolutely be checking out Age of Sigmar eventually too. I want to learn the Age... So, like, I want to learn the Age of Sigmar factions. I want to learn the stories of Godric and Felix. I need to learn more about Caiaphas Cain. I want to learn more about the Primarchs. I want to learn more about the Xenos. There's just so much. There's so much. But there's nothing in this one. There is nothing in this one. Any chance to be playing Total War? The new one? Yes. I'll be doing it on Twitch though. I'm gonna be trying Total Warhammer, the new one, when it comes out. Total Warhammer and Total. What is it? What's the other one that I can play as the Dark Angels? I keep mixing the two up. Dawn of War. It's Total War Warhammer and Dawn of War, right? There's no time left in the video. Look, all right. It won't be in the recording, but here, look. There's nothing else.
Bone Ripper, whack smack this guy thing's nutballs. Usually in a story.
Fuck off! Fuck off! I can't believe it. I'm so mad. No, I'm mad now. No, I'm mad now. No, I'm mad now. No. Oh my god. I'm salty. I'm so salty.
Warhammer has a.
I'm so salty. Oh my god. There was like a second left in the video. I didn't want it to go into the next video. God damn it. Shame. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit the end now. I don't want to do that. It's more work. Bone Ripper, take his balls. Okay. Yeah, amateur. Truly, you got me. All right. Now, I have a wild thing we're going to be doing today. So, I'm going to get it up on screen, and we're going to start talking about it now. Okay? We're going to go right into it. It's another Warhammer one. We're going into 40K now. All right. I don't even need the warp zone. I can stop anytime I want. A real quote from that's amazing. I love that. Okay. Good to get the picture on screen. Hang on. All right, we'll start here. We'll even leave it with the subscribe on the screen. We'll support Epicus right now, okay? All right. Now, I am excited to say that we're going to attempt to react to the... I don't want to say it like that. That doesn't sound that good, saying react to. Because in this... Wait, Chia, what the hell? Thank you for the 5 gift subs. What the hell? Thank you so much. Okay. So, I want to give full disclosure on this one. Early in my Warhammer journey of watching the content on YouTube, I was asked to watch The Speech of Sanguinius. And I did. It was one of the earliest things that I have reacted to on my channel. However, I feel that I was pushed into it prematurely, as I didn't know anything about Sanguinius, and I didn't know anything about the Eternia Gates. I didn't know anything about the Siege of Terra. I didn't know anything. At this point in time, I had only watched the Every Factions Explained video, so I went into this extremely green. So now that I have watched a ton more content, I have been drilled with all the information from the Primarchs, with the Legions and everything. Like I'm still green as far as like the big lore heads. Obviously, I'm still pretty green. I want to actually give this another watch with more of an understanding of what had happened. So I feel that watching this a second time now will actually be a good experience. Because normally I'm not a fan of redundancy. But I feel like in this circumstance, this is the right call. I want to actually see this now. Because before I remember, I was like, oh man, I love his voice. That's all I remember saying last time. But I remember it's like, oh yeah, Sanguinius sounds cool. Like now I want to actually hear it knowing what happened. So I feel like it's going to be a lot better. Okay? All right, here we go.
I do not want to be here. I do not want this present. And I want the future that follows.
You know, I gotta tell you this already. It's actually incredible. I literally said it 2 seconds ago. Like, oh, I remember saying I like his voice. I really like his voice. My God. I haven't heard it since the last time we watched this, but man, his voice is like butter.
Even less. We stand against our own brothers and sisters, with our backs to the Eternity Gate, and this is not a battle we can win. If you have ever wondered how you will die, now you know. If you have ever wondered where your body will lie, now you know. You will be killed on the last war between hope and horror. Your body will lie here, unburied, staring up at a poisoned sky. Once the sanctum falls, terror falls with it.
You know, one thing I do want to ask about this, at the point he's at when he gives this speech, is this before or after he fights Kabanda? And is this before or after he fights Angron? Because it's like, I know that he was heading towards Horus, but I believe this is earlier, correct? This is when he's holding the Eternia Gates, he's holding before he gets reinforcements from Gilliman. But I believe he fights Angron and kills Angron before they get there, right? So he gives the speech, defends, kills or defeats Kabanda and banishes him, kills Angron and banishes him, right? That's the timeline for this. Before fighting both, okay.
And I tell you, we cannot hold this wall. You can see it yourselves. They are too many. We are too few. We may last a week if we do the impossible. More likely, we will all be dead in 3 days.
Wait, I thought he fought Kabanda a second time during the siege as well. What didn't he have a rematch with Kabanda at the siege of Terra? No? I was pretty sure that he fought Kabanda, then he had to fight Angron, then he had to fight Horus. I thought that was the timeline of what he did. Because I know he had fought Kabanda before, but I thought that Kabanda returns.
Perhaps my words surprise you, or frighten you. But I will not lie. Not to you. Not to you who have come through 200 days of dread, only to find yourselves here. I have looked into your faces and seen what this war has cost all of you. I have followed the flow of battles that each of you has survived, to stand here on the final battlement. I see everything you have endured. Those stories written in the light of your eyes. Now the War Master offers you the lie of life, promising a mercy his forces are incapable of showing. If we will abandon this last wall, and it falls to me here and now to tell you to stand against him one more time, to give everything you have, even your lives, if it will hold this rampart for another day, another hour, another second. That is what the moment demands of me, is it not? That I beg you to make one last sacrifice.
Seriously, again, I apologize for people who are watching this, even if it's the first time seeing me react to it. I'm pausing a little bit more this time just because, again, I'm a little bit more informed about it, and the shock and awe of it is it's not the shock and awe for me this time. It's more so the context. It really goes to show you how good of a character Sanguinius was. Like, I know that I've said before he's not my favorite Primarch, but like, this timeline that he follows from here, like everything leading up to this was interesting too, but from this point up until his demise, it is such a great line of story, and it makes him such an interesting character. He's the Emperor's favorite little mutant, you know. We love that about him. But one thing I need to either get like a little piece of artwork of Sanguinius just doing the cinema gesture. I feel like out of all the Primarchs, he is the most fitting for it.
No, I will not ask it of you. You have already given everything. You have already done everything asked of you 100 times and more. You have suffered through a war of unimaginable darkness. One that has demanded more from you than any soldier in the history of our species has been forced to give. The fact that you still live, that you still fight. I cannot conceive of the courage and resilience it requires for you to face this town and look to the horizon with a rifle in your hands. Where Horus has offered only lies, I will offer you truth.
Yeah.
Those of you that wish to run. Run.
Like, seriously, you can see why he was chosen to be the Emperor Secundus, or why he was the Emperor of the Imperium Secundus, and like why people even referred to him as the Emperor, right? Like you can see, like I believe that's what you guys have told me before, why we learned, like that some people even referred to him as that when they were closed off, right? Like you can see why. You can see why he generates and garners the respect.
Leave this place. Not in shame at a duty undone, not in surrender to the traitor's forces, but with honor. Go, with my gratitude, for you have already given everything asked of you. What right does anyone have to demand more? From you, who have endured harrowing beyond account, horror beyond measure. If you wish to fall back into the Sanctum Imperialis and spend the last hours of life with your children, then do so. Know that you go not only with my blessing, but with my envy. If you wish to leave the wall and take your chances in the wasteland before the battle begins, then, in the Emperor's name, you have earned the right to try. Go swiftly, and carry with you the pride that you have already given a hero's share in a war that none of us wanted, but were forced to fight. And if you wish for the truth, I will give it to you gladly, for you have earned that too. It shames me to admit, but
No, like seriously, he gets done dirty. Like Sanguinius gets done dirty. I was trying not to pause too much more, so we can get through the rest of this. But like he gets done so dirty with what he has to go through. Legitimately, if there was ever a piece of content in the Warhammer universe that would lend itself really well to being a movie, you could literally just have the Siege of Terra. And it would be a bombshell, because all they have to be is like, oh yeah, by the way, the speech of Sanguinius is in this movie, and like I guarantee you it would do incredibly well. I guarantee you it would do incredibly well. I mean, I would love for Henry Cavill to play him, because I want Henry Cavill to play everybody. But like, come on, I feel like it would do great.
I would abandon this wall if I could. The Primarch in me, the supposed demigod half of my heart, craves life with a ferocity that shames me. If I bowed to that instinct, I would take to the sky and never look back. But I cannot. I am half human. And the human in me demands that I stay. There are legends about me. I hear them whispered among you every day. That I know the moment of my own death. The stories say this gives me courage, that I feel no fear, because I know I cannot yet be slain. Here is the truth of that tale. That prophesied death is coming. Today, tonight, tomorrow. I know not the when or the how, only that I feel fate's breath on the back of my neck.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I do not remain here out of immortality's courage. I remain here because if I am to die, I choose this death. I choose to die with my back to the last door. I choose to give my life to buy another hour or minute or even a single second of grace to those who cannot be here fighting with me. I choose to die here because I do not believe I have yet given all I can.
Ugh.
Someone must stand and fight. And if I have but one choice left, I will make it now. I will stand. I will fight. I will hold this wall, knowing that the 13th Legion makes for Terra with all speed. And if they cannot bring salvation, they will bring retribution. Whether I am alone, or whether 100,000 of you are by my side, when the War Master's horde descends upon this wall, they will find me waiting for them with a blade in hand. Not because I can win, but because it is right.
Because it is right.
I do not know what delusion grips those out there who were once our brothers and sisters, but I know it is right to oppose them. I've spoken enough.
No, speak more. Speak more.
You need hear no more of my fears and confessions. All that remains is for me to ask. Will you run?
Will you run? Oh my god. Ah! Okay. Okay. This is like where we need to have like a little bit of discussion. First of all, it is exactly as I thought. It is immensely better with context. It is immensely better when you actually understand what you are listening to and what you are watching. I understand that the community really wants creators to watch this early in their journey into Warhammer, but it did it a disservice. Because when I watched this originally, I was kind of like, okay, it's cool, it's whatever. Watching this now, knowing everything that I understand at this point, it is so much more impactful and it's so much better. It's so much better. Like, hearing this now, it makes me even more, stalwart in saying, I'm so afraid GW is just going to bring him back somehow. And I don't want that because, what makes him so brilliant is all this leading up to it finalized by his death. And I'm so scared that Sanguinor is gonna, be Sanguinius or something like that in the lore. And I'm just, praying that it doesn't happen. And that the greedy money goblins at GW are not yes, we're gonna bring back the Golden Boy. Please don't. Please don't. His story is perfect. His story is absolutely perfect. So much better this time around. I'm really, really glad that I gave it a second shot. I'm really, really glad that I gave it a second watch. I really am. Okay, let me put on music. How was that? Are you guys okay with doing that a second time? It's cooler. Yeah, it's way cooler when you know what he does. It's way cooler when you know what he goes through. Because I remember the first time I'm like, oh, so what is this? I'm like, where is he fighting? Oh, what are the Eternia? What are the Eternia gates? What's this? Also, I understand that I'm saying Eternia instead of eternity, but whatever. But I'm sure I'm gonna get clocked on that. It's so much better when you actually have context. Nobody would be more irate than the Blood Angels when Sanguinius came back. Can we get a third one? Yo, watch the second one just even better than the first. Yeah, you understand the weight behind the words. That I think makes the difference. It was the reason why, I almost wish that people, I mean, it's tough to say, right? I want viewers to be excited to recommend stuff. But I wish that it wasn't something that was so heavily recommended early on. Because I remember this was the third video that was recommended. Oh, you need to watch the Speech of Sanguinius. You need to watch the Speech of Sanguinius. And I'm like, okay. But I don't know anything about what's going on, right? So it's a lot of the videos now will make a lot more sense to me. Even the Rylanor stuff, thankfully I understood a little bit at the time, but the Rylanor stuff would make a lot more sense now. Yeah, that was the thing, right? It was just a cool speech early on. The Gates of Eternia, wrong gate. Yeah, no, I'm gonna get shit for that, but it's okay. I'm not gonna do a retake of it. Like that, you're always gonna like. I realized it after the fact. I'm like, I'm saying Eternia and not saying Eternity. I am gonna get one Black Templar is gonna come in and be like, fake fan, Taurus, gay infiltrator, grrr. I'm like, oh damn it, that's okay. Would you be interested in reacting to Gilliman's answers to this speech? His message to his brother, it was just hold on. Yeah. You need to watch the speech of Sanguinius. What the fuck is Sanguinius? Is it edible? No, seriously though, that was like an ongoing thing. Like, it's the same thing when people were telling me to watch TTS. I feel like I would appreciate TTS more, even though I have an aversion to it because of the community, right? Like, I will probably give TTS a shot again eventually. I don't have any interest in going into TTS because of a lot of how the community has been like the way the community's reception to it has really been an off-putting to me. So like I haven't really wanted it. People are very excited and forget stuff like this requires context without context. It's just cool speech with sexy voice acting. Yeah, exactly. Gay infiltrator, so Jakari. I mean, yeah. I mean that is like the fact that a title that an insult that was thrown like. All right, wait, let me rephrase this. The fact that an insult that was thrown at me in my early days in Warhammer has become a title that I wear with pride. No joke intended with the redundancy of pride. And it's actually affected my chibi model's design is hilarious to me. Hot take, TTS is mid in my opinion. Shh. They hate you for you speak the truth. TTS is better with context since you have a better idea what Warhammer's canon is, what's just TTS. Yeah, exactly. Black Templars are quite... Well, that's what I was saying before. That's literally what I was saying before. I'm like, the crazy part is I think Black Templars are cool. It's just that some of their fan base ruin it for everybody. They take the joke a little too far, you know? A little too quirky, a little too far. Okay, all right. We'll go into the next video. Do you guys want mini Minutemen? Or do you want casual Geo first? We'll end on Dylan like we've been doing. We're making good progress so far. Also, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee because I need it. Mini Minutemen, casual. I found infiltrate in the core rules, but I can't seem to find gay. How does this modify the rule? I asked a Templar fan, but he just screeched. Oh my goodness. You know what's funny is like I when it comes to like the talking points of the Templars, because I've been seeing it a lot on Twitter too, and I know that right now the big talking point I won't even bring up. I align more with actually what Warboss was complaining about with the Primaris update. After actually learning about the Primaris one and how they did that, that's probably the most off-putting. It wasn't game-breaking in my opinion. It was very much business-oriented, but that was like the biggest FU I've seen from them. The Primaris update was by far the biggest FU. I don't think the current one's that big of a deal. I don't think the current one's a really big deal at all. I think the Primaris one only hurts people who had pre-existing armies, though. Like, it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. I think the Primaris are cool, but I see people who have armies being really upset about it. You kiss girls while infiltrating? Oh my goodness. So true. So true. Also, I keep on checking my emails to see if the Patreon poster is done. I keep on saying it's gonna be done any day. It literally is going to be done any day. Like it's literally going to be done any day. Like any day. I swear. I swear. Just not today. God, why can't it be done? My artist is incredibly fast and they're amazing and I love them with every fiber of my being, but I just want it to be done so I can give the patrons their poster. Ah! I'm gonna have to like book the second poster like really early this time. I think that's the play. Primaris, I think was BS. I just pretend they're true scale firstborn, not new Supermarines. That's, yeah. It might be in a supplemental data slate. Wait, what? Oh, do you mean, wait, do you mean the get? Oh, you're funny. You're funny. 9th edition screwed me over when it comes to the Space Wolves, but you could already see my chonky comment lately. Yeah. Celestine and Greyfax infiltrators better not inform the Temps. I'm thinking of doing Red Templars and Imperial first successor that thinks that they're White Scars. That's kind of cool. Forgive my misspell. How dare. How dare. You're not allowed to misspell. Oh, by the way, I will be getting a care package from Madrinas soon. I will be showing it off, of course, probably on Twitch. I'm really hyped for this one. They did a collab with RuneScape, with old school RuneScape specifically. So there is a refresher flavor that is legitimately from RuneScape, and it comes with a really cool shaker and stuff like that. If you guys are interested in doing in that, you can use code Tetra. Like, we can put the link up and everything. I'm not gonna push it too aggressively on YouTube. I don't like to do that over here too much. But if you guys like RuneScape, and I know a lot of you guys are old heads like me, so you probably do. Okay. That aside, we're gonna get the next video ready. Oh, I saw like a pretty even split. Let's I say we watch the debunk first. I think if we watch the debunk followed by No, let's go through casual. Let's do casual first, then the debunk, then Dylan. You choose? Yeah, I'm going to. Also, Pam, would you do me a favor and put the Madrinas link up? Okay. Turning a lot of the name Marines into Primaris hurt a bit, but it does it helps justify why they're so impressive compared to the Firstborn or newly made Primaris. Because they had a bunch of Firstborn characters they didn't want to get rid of because they were still selling good. That makes sense. Greedy. Makes sense. Okay. Turn off my music. Oh, wait a minute. That's really cool. Wait a minute. Sorry, I got distracted by something from Capcom. Capcom is they sent me an email about scheduled stuff for the Resident Evil release, so I'll be playing that over on Twitch. Okay, music is off. Okay, here we go. This is the new video from Casual Geographic. It's why we owe a vulture on steroids an apology. I'm not gonna be surprised by this one, I'm sure, because we already give vultures a really bad rap. So I'm curious to see. Oh, it's big. Oh, it's big. It's.
Don't be scared.
Okay, you say don't be scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. Big birds are really intimidating. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You might think that I'm being a coward, especially as a lion, right? Like, oh, cat's afraid of the birds. Like, big birds are really intimidating. I don't know why. A big bird is more intimidating than almost any animal of equivalent size.
He's just a baby. He will get bigger. Close your eyes and visualize the most disrespected animal on Earth. Now open them and apologize for not thinking of the living laundry lin. You don't respect this dinosaur nearly enough.
Look at them.
Many people have never seen this flying fossil, or they have and never wish to ever again. The world will be a legitimate horror movie without them.
I'm sorry, I talked over that.
You don't respect this dinosaur nearly enough. Many people have never seen this flying fossil, or they have and never wish to ever again. The world will be a legitimate horror movie without them, yet this creature and its kind are still very much maligned by humanity. But you'll see why. The first two videos pretty much sums up our relationship with them, especially when you let it play all the way. I told you, just a baby. That is a baby Andean condor, and condors are Jurassic vultures on steroids. There's the Andean and the California condor, and both are built like a prehistoric paralysis demon. They're the closest relative of Argentavis, and I live a life of decency and virtue because otherwise I know I...
Okay, all right, Ark moment here. Saying that they're the relative of Argentavis says a lot. When you've played Ark, you understand how great of a bird that is.
Let's see this homicidal death pigeon in hell. Argentavis flexed a wingspan of up to 23 feet, weighed as much as an adult man, and would have been about the size
pausing again to irritate everybody. How many of you have played Ark and have used an Argentavis to pick up a new player off the ground on the beach, lift them up in the air, and drop them? Just throwing that out into the world.
Cessna 152. And on the ground, they would have looked that same grown man in the eye. The condors of today are slightly smaller, with Andeans having a wingspan of nearly 11 feet.
That's insane.
Which is how the bird can stay in the air for hours without flapping their wings once. In fact, by using thermal drafts, one condor managed to soar for 5 hours and cover 100 miles. All that and no flap. The feather relic is also one of the longest living birds, with some surviving up to 70 trips around the sun. Not only does puberty turn an avian dust bunny into Skeksis from Dark Crystal, they end up becoming the biggest birds of prey on Earth. You can't imagine waking up to a dragon and drag outside your window. And that's because you're not
myself.
from Chile.
No, thank
not
you.
only is it the national bird of Chile, shout out to Chile, they even have a Chilean comic based on them called Condorito. Lucky for Chileans, this dog, and my mental health, condors are absolutely harmless. Unless you watch Total Drama, because that might have been the first time Alejandro got his rocked. But yeah, it's a good thing that a bird that could pass for a man in a suit is a scavenger. To be fair, that is a man in a suit, but it's for a good reason. Dude, I was kidding about the Jesus. Time really hasn't been kind to the condor. It might actually be the dinosaur left behind. Way back in the day, California condors made a meal out of megafauna like mammoths, bison, and giant ground sloths after they passed tense. It's believed that it was the presence of plus-size prey in the Pleistocene that allowed condors to get so big.
Okay, question for the comment section, because I don't necessarily think that anybody in chat's going to know offhand, but somebody in the comments always knows these ridiculous things and leaves a book. How recently did the giant ground sloth go extinct? I know that it's not like recent history, obviously, but I know that it's not nearly as far back as we can presume, right? Because I believe avocados were their food source, right? Like that's why the seeds were so big, because they would pass in the stool, something like that. So yeah, I want one of my keyboard warriors in the comment section if you have information about the giant ground sloth. I'm very interested. Thank you.
The problem is, mammoths and giant sloths got discontinued a while ago, meaning a literal big bird got left holding the bag. It's a biological anachronism. The condorito was built for a time that is long gone, and when many of the megafauna disappeared, the condor flirted with the oblivion too. Somehow they survived, but that would not be the closest condors would come to extinction. The sick joke is, DDT was really good at murking insects, but even better at erasing everything else, and condors caught the biggest stray, since the same pesticides would weaken eggshells and cause them to break. Condors only have one egg every 2 years, and the lint chicken that comes out can take up to 8 to mature, and this painfully slow reproductive rate only made the effects of DDT hit harder. But wait, there's more. As an aerial coffin, many condors die from lead poisoning caused by the bullets hunters leave in the dead. Penno Beowulf was a condor raised in the Los Angeles Zoo who was released to help contribute to the population. He never would, as he would die 3 months later with an air gun pellet in his gizzard and another statistic for lead poisoning. And if that wasn't bad enough, Johnny Cash nearly soloed the entire species. Johnny Cash is known for many songs that I cannot name, but I do know him as the guy that got high, started a fire to stay warm, and caused a forest fire that not only burnt 500 acres of a national forest, it cooked 49 of the condors living there. When asked, "Did you start the fire?" Cash said, "No, my truck did, and it's dead, so you can't question it." "Okay, Cash." When asked if he felt bad, Johnny said, "Well, I feel pretty good right now." Evidently, the forest wasn't the only thing that got blazed, and when the
I used to love Johnny Cash, and now this singular moment has made me dislike him. In this singular moment, I do not like him. Wow. Wow. I didn't realize he was such a schmuck.
The judge reminded him of his hate crime towards condors, Cash asked, why should he care? After the federal government took $125,000 worth of care out of his account, he got his answer. Also, I lied. I can name one song, Ring of Fire. No currency could bring the condors back though, and years of getting jumped by DDT, lead poisonings, and human hubris had the California condor population down all the way to 27 left in the world by 1987. The bird from a land before time was about to flatline. That isn't until
27 what?
To step up. For all the damage done to the condor, humanity came in clutch for the cause. They went all out, first by capturing all the wild condors left, and when they were done, every condor alive was in captivity. Then they really put in work. Condor eggs have a longer
He literally is responsible for killing like 60% of the remaining species by himself? Excuse me? I don't think that there has been a single human being in history who has wiped out a higher percentage of a species ever. That is insane. That is insane.
Release time than a Spider-Verse movie, but a biohack is that condors will often lay a second, even third egg if the first one is removed. So the strat was to collect condor eggs for caretakers to raise themselves, basically doubling the output. This would save the condor population at the last absolute second, as condors would begin to be airdropped back into the wild in the 90s. And today, there's over 500 California condors, both in captivity and seasoned across the Southwest.
Oh my god, amazing.
There is one problem with raising condors, and it's that the condors can become attached to humans. And like we always say on this channel, the worst thing a wild animal can do is lose its fear of people. The condor compromise was raising these floof nuggets with hand puppets in their parents' likeness. This allowed keepers to teach baby condors how to condor while also retaining their natural fear of humans, which I thought was what was happening here, but I looked into it and this has nothing to do with conservation. This is just love of the game. Must be mutual, because if you look closer, that's also a condor in a man's suit. Convincing, right? But raising condors is more than just throwing meat at a panhandling puffball. There's a method. In the late 80s and early 90s, folks started raising kid condors in this like daycare system, but with no older birds. But because they had no older birds to use as role models, when the condors were released, they basically acted like teenagers with their parents gone for the weekend.
Oh no.
They do things like approach people, invade campsites, and even enter buildings. Things you don't want an endangered species doing, so we had to adjust. Instead, folks shifted tactics based on how—
Hold on 1 second, gamers. BB's here to visit for a minute. Let me set up the little bassinet for her. There we go. Is she sleeping? No, she's up. Hi.
Just like a 30-minute micro nap.
She's so pretty. My little baby girl. Okay. We're gonna be a little bit more quiet on reaction for now. She's just chilling. Everybody say hi to BB. Oh, she's so precious. Okay, we'll be a little bit quiet. She's just chilling and vibing right now. Okay, back to the video.
Wild condors come up and would have a baby sitting by itself most of the time, only occasionally being visited by an adult, aka a puppet. Later on, they'd be assigned
I love how we're watching stuff about like mothering and taking care of babies, and then my baby gets taken out right now. My baby comes out to see me. Oh, she brings me so much joy. Oh, I'm such a cliche. You know, Yura's made this joke before, like where once you have a kid, like being a mother, it becomes your entire personality. It does. Like the level of obsession that I have already for my child is ridiculous. She's my everything. You're so precious. Ah. All right.
Older mentor condor to show them the ropes, and in the final step, both would be moved to a flight pen for the fledgling to learn how to fly. And caretakers would teach stranger danger by using the business end of a water gun on any condor that got too friendly with humans.
Oh, that's sad though. I mean, it's good, but sad.
PTSD. They'd also use like shock therapy to teach condors to avoid frying themselves on power lines. But the job's not finished once you have condors.
They get
in the
little
wild.
numbers?
I won't call them the pandas of birds because, well, one, pandas don't deserve that self-plug, but two, condors have an even harder time making more of themselves. 25% of California condor eggs are infertile duds that have to be replaced before the couple gives up. Side note, I just
really?
remembered, condors can pull a Virgin Mary where—
Wait. So basically they need to be kept tabs of in the wild. When the eggs are not fertile, I'm guessing like conservationists have to go in, swap them out, like the old switcheroo, like Indiana Jones style, to hope that they don't like stop them from reproducing. That's crazy.
Female can lay and hatch a fully functional egg with zero male involvement, like maternal menaces. That's parthenogenesis. And
wait,
I feel
really?
like having that move in your bag and almost never using it, even with your population halfway in past tense, like I get that it's mostly our fault, but like help us help you.
Wait, really? I did not know that condors could do that. That's actually really crazy.
Anyway, there's no guarantee once the egg hatches anyway, because many chicks get accidentally poisoned by microtrash, which clogs their system and starves them to death. So researchers gotta constantly sift through the nest for microtrash, and any chick suspected to be contaminated is kidnapped and medevaced for surgery.
Oh my
which
god!
Also means someone has to camp by the nest for 24 hours and keep the parents from coming home to an empty one and abandoning it. Gatekeeping a dragon from its child for a day sounds more like a Mr. Beast challenge than a way to spend your zoology degree. If a released condor can avoid lead poisoning poisoning, pollution, and getting deep fried on power lines, it'll roam the skies for decades and hopefully make many more condors along the way. And if they're lucky, they'll have the same partner by their side the whole time. Condors do not get enough credit for how loyal they are. The symbol of unity can have a 5% divorce rate, and a penguin can propose with his best pebble and still get cheated on. But for the most part, a condor will see another condor and just spend the next 40 years making it work. Unless death really does them part.
He really is making me like condors a lot more. Damn. I'm loving this story.
Condors aren't just loyal to their mate. Believe it or not, an overgrown struggle vulture has a social structure on par with chimpanzees and wolves. Condors have a social hierarchy where every bird knows its rank, especially at the dinner table, where elders dominate, which is why those raised without other condors end up with avian Alzheimer's, as in they forget
Money,
their
you're a scary
place.
bird.
But it's not just a hierarchy. Condors will have a friend group that they'll hang with, and if you're around long enough, you'll see them preening, play fighting, and even chasing each other. They'll even look after other injured condors and share food with those that can't do so for themselves.
Aww.
What kind of bird of prey you know that's moving like that? The social butterfly nature is why we had to put on the hand puppets in the first place. When I said condors can get attached to humans, we're talking about a commitment lasting years. Eduardo is an Argentinian cattle farmer who found an injured condor on his property and helped bring the bird back to health. Now, every once in a while, the condor visits a man that saved him as a thank you and even tries to preen him. But to me, the wildest part is the condor didn't imprint on Ed because it eventually went back into the wild instead of following him around, so this venti vulture is actively going out of its way to see him.
That's
Who'd
amazing.
expect that kind of emotional depth from a cloud casket? Well, anyone who's worked with them, because they'll tell you that vultures are sky puppies with personalities that'll even have favorite keepers that they'll run to when excited. They're also curious and they'll play with anything
I'm
from
on
actual
Team
toys
Condor
to
now.
the
I love
socks and
them.
shoelaces of their preferred human.
Oh
Many
my
keepers
God.
swear by vultures being the
You
most
watch
fun
this
birds
one,
to
right?
train because they're curious.
You watch the condor video? I love them.
Yeah, I know.
They're just loving monogamous little birds that are just happy, and also Johnny Cash is a terrible human being.
That's what I said too. I was like,
Literally wiped out 60% of the population in one go.
messed up.
Curiosity and attachment makes them act like precocious children, always looking for their parents' approval.
Now
They're
you're a
even on
bird,
the
Money.
short list of animals smart enough to use tools, with Egyptian vultures using rocks to crack open ostrich eggs. You wouldn't expect that from a career scavenger and death merchant. Vultures have been underrated, and fun fact, there's old world and new world vultures, and they're not related. Vultures are essential workers. They're just so important that nature went ahead and made them twice. But this is not a vulture glaze video, so before we talk about the good, we gotta speed run the side you probably already know. Everything I've said about vultures is still true, but
Wait, what do you mean? Is that? But you're 9.5 minutes in. What do you mean you're not going to tell the good? You're going to tell everything you've said so far has been the good. What are you smoking? What?
it's also true that they have the nastiest diet of any animal. They'll eat the foulest, most putrid piece
they
of
eat
meat like a
botulism.
kid eats candy, and having a weak beak and feet means they'll break into a body from the worst half. Which is why vultures are bald. No point in having feathers when you're going to be neck deep in a dead buffalo. Being bald also helps with temperature. So does another thing they do. Vultures practice urohydrosis, where they'll leak liquid nasty all over their legs to cool off like sweat. So
Yeah,
if you see a
I remember
vulture
hearing that
ashy
one.
feet, now you know. Also, some vultures will weaponize their diet, as turkey vultures will projectile vomit sewer-smelling foulness I can't even imagine. Or maybe I just don't want to. Especially if they spray you in the eyes, and if it hits feathers, the acid nerfs the ability to fly. That's not the most offensive thing vultures do. Contrary to popular belief, black vultures will camp out in flock around sheep giving birth and immediately swarm the newborn, gouging the eyes out and eating the blind lamb alive.
Oh my
That's not
God.
even mentioning what vultures do to the economy. You do know vulture vomit and dookie juice can cause power outages when they pile up on transmission towers.
I did not know
and
that.
vulture curiosity can send your car insurance into the stratosphere, as necro-tweeties are liable to scratch paint, rip rubber seals and wipers off cars, and even tear the vinyl seat covers from boats and tractors. That's not as bad as the possibility of them contaminating water sources with their acidic feces, when the coliform bacteria from it invades water towers or reservoirs. Not to mention, being the highest flying bird can backfire when they join the Mile High Club after getting rear-ended by a plane engine, which makes vultures, in terms of damage, one of the costliest animals in America.
Oh my
Estimated
God.
to cause about $3 million and $1.2 million in damages to military and civil aircrafts respectively. When you add the dent they leave in infrastructure and livestock, vultures are capable of burning a multi-million-dollar hole in the economy. But the
Wow.
real damage is to the economy of your social life. Let a guest see, smell, or otherwise perceive a committee of vultures on your property, and that might just be the last time they ever come over. But
Yeah,
most people would
I
probably
agree.
forgive all of that if they weren't so ugly. So it's not hard to see how people see a vulture and see nothing but a nuisance. Well, Vultures have no business being as OP as they are. Many animals have powerful digestive juices to eat carcasses, but no animal can match a Hades chicken's internal fortitude.
Because they can eat
Vulture
bones.
stomach acid has a pH lower than 1, meaning they can destroy toxins like anthrax and cholera that would one-shot almost anything else.
Wait, they digest
Botulism
anthrax
is considered
too?
the most potent natural substance on Earth, as the toxins produced by bacteria attacks the body's nerves, causing muscle paralysis, difficulty breathing, and even death. Let alone the fact some people pay to put that in their face. The vulture's nervous system is resistant to that same bacteria and can also tank the same bacteria that can cause tetanus and gangrene with 0 effects. Not to mention, when they're knee deep in death and decay, leaking liquid on their legs not only cools them, it acts as an antiseptic that kills bacteria on contact. Vultures are what that 0.1% of them are afraid of, and pathogens like tuberculosis, salmonella, leprosy, and even rabies meet their end in a vulture's gizzard. Which is a big deal because if you watch this video, another plug, but you know rabies is the disease that scares me the most. The idea of a disease rewiring your brain chemistry for the worse while also making you afraid of water, something that is not negotiable.
Okay, I need to watch that video because I don't think we've actually gone over it yet. Rabies is terrifying. The hydrophobia is the most insane thing I have seen. Have you ever watched any of the videos of there's a video on the internet that was pretty well known where a man who contracted rabies was trying to sip water and he couldn't get it down because of the hydrophobia. It's crazy. It is actually crazy. Like, rabies is such a big fear. We're going back into my time in veterinary. Rabies is such a big fear. Like, half the animals in the practice that we would work with that were anything other than a cat and dog, you had to be vaccinated for rabies beforehand. Like, you could not work with them because rabies was so bad. Like, it's not something that you see often. It's really, really uncommon. It gets way overstated how common it is, right? Like, like when you see a raccoon, it typically does not have rabies, right? You're far more likely to have a raccoon that has, like, distemper. But, like, people always are worried that it's rabies. But when rabies does happen, oh my God, it is the scariest thing. Okay, anyway.
Want to live haunts me. Rabies buries an estimated 70,000 people a year, and with the most common cause of cases being dog bites, it's most destructive in areas with a large stray population, like India. There's 2 things India did that gave rabies the green light. First was them criminalizing euthanizing stray dogs, but the main reason was a complete accident. Diclofenac was a drug used as a painkiller and anti-inflammatory for cattle, but that same drug also caused fatal kidney failure in the vultures that ate them. This did an absolute number on the vulture population, with many species cut down by 99%. Not only was it one of the fastest collapses of a bird species,
6,000 to 40?
The sudden disappearance of nature's cleanup crew was predictable, as the number of rabies cases skyrocketed. And you remember what I said about vultures in the economy? Well, the free fall of the vulture population likely led to the deaths of 500,000 people and an economic loss of 70 million, $70 billion. From 2000 to 2005. But don't think it's just India that benefited from a scavenger stimulus package. Anthrax outbreaks are a semi-common occurrence in places like Kruger National Park in South Africa and Virunga National Park in the Congo, especially in places where you can have pool parties that contain more hippo than pool, and these outbreaks can kill up to 100 hippos at a time. Not only that, but these outbreaks can reach humans, as in 2011, over 500 cases of anthrax poisonings in humans were reported after 80-something hippos died of the same. Now imagine the carnage if you didn't have bald-headed equalizers clearing the disease for the free. Like I said, there's a reason nature thought vultures were so nice they made them twice. Vultures also contribute to society in less dramatic ways, as in the 1930s, the Union Oil Company of Texas started putting mercaptan in natural gas, and with turkey vultures often gathering around the smell, they'd use the birds as markers to locate gas leaks. Vultures also act as an alarm bell for illegal poaching activity, as them circling over an area is like a Batman signal to park rangers. Unfortunately, that has also made them a target for poachers, who purposely try to poison them. Evidently, the only toxin vultures have no answer for is humanity. Like I said, you do not respect vultures nearly enough, and I take back what I said about them being ugly. The griffin vulture mogs any eagle you can think of. The bearded vulture is like a Pokemon fire type come to life. The king vulture is just an ethereal specimen of a bird. That is if you can ignore the chesticle situation. And oh, my sweet baby boy, if there are no condors alive, just know that I have died. And that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, put some respect on the vulture's game. Shout out to this comment for making me make this video. Acknowledge your father, and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Aww. Look at the little goober. I say this every time. Every video of his I just enjoy. There's never been something that's been there's never been a video from him that's not been a banger. Okay. Where am I hearing that sounds? That's one of the cats. I was like, why am I hearing so many sounds behind me? All right. We're making good progress. We're making really good progress on videos. I only have 2 short ones left, and we're done. We're only 2.5 in. We're already 3 videos down. That's awesome. I'll have time to edit today, and then Yura gets to take a nap, and then I can get us a really nice dinner.
Yeah, do you want like sushi
You want sushi?
or like katsu?
Okay. I won't say no. Unless you want something like steak. You could get like steak and coconut shrimp. All of a sudden she's like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, that sounds pretty damn good. You have time to think. You have time to think. Butter chicken? Nah, I'm not a fan. I don't like anything from curries. I'm not cool like that. Cat girls and sushi based. You know, once the baby was born, we've had sushi like 5 or 6 times already. Because that was like the big thing we cut out when the baby when we were having the baby, because you can't have sushi. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have sushi super young. You're gonna get to enjoy fish. Yeah. You precious little bean. You are the cutest little thing in the whole world. Do you know that? You're just looking at Yura. Chat, when I tell you that she's the prettiest baby ever, I assure you, it's not just my bias. Everybody who has seen her from the moment she came out has said, oh my god, why is she so pretty? Okay, this is not my ego. This is not my hubris and saying, oh, my baby's the prettiest baby ever. Babies, when they pop out, are usually quite, like, weird looking. She popped out, and she looked like a little movie star. She came out with a full head of hair like a little movie star. I've got some shrimp Alfredo. Ooh, shrimp Alfredo sounds fire.
Actually, yeah, it does.
That sounds really fire. No, like, wait. Hang on. Let me send Apocalypse a picture of the baby. And then Apocalypse can give you an unbiased, well, I mean, Apocalypse is gonna be a little bit biased no matter what, but, like, hang on. You need this one.
Hasn't Apocalypse seen baby?
Yeah, but I'm gonna send the one where she's like this.
Oh, okay.
Can you send it to me again? Because I don't know where it is.
Yeah, give me a second.
There's one picture that I found it. Wait, no, that's not it. There's one really good one. It wasn't this one, right? No, there's a sassier one, right?
There's one where she's lying on it.
I just gotta find it. Lammergeiers are some of the most amazing birds. Being in in Spain, South France, they are quite close to me. I'm determined to see them. That sounds really cool. All my sisters were incredibly ugly babies. She doesn't look like a deformed alien. No. Oh, here, this one, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right. Apocalypse, are you there?
She was watching her favorite streamer.
Apocalypse or Pen? Are either of you guys there? First one to respond gets the picture.
Oh, no, it was this one.
No, that one's cute too, but this one, I like the sassy one. Good sushi is the main reason I curse my fish and salt. That's actually really sad. I'm so sorry that you have that allergy. All right, Apocalypse has responded. They get it first.
Oh, sheesh.
Nope, Pen was too... Pen, you were too slow.
Oh, no.
Pen, you were too slow. All right, I'll send it to Pen too. I was sending it to both. Look at this sassy little being. Look at this little sassy being that I sent to you.
She was watching my favorite streamer.
She was watching her favorite streamer. It's Point Crow. Who'd have thought? She likes watching Point Crow. I don't understand why, but she loves Point Crow.
Yeah, we thought it was just Pokemon until she did this during a Kingdom Hearts stream.
Yeah, she was watching Point Crow play Kingdom Hearts, and she was just like, I am fascinated. I feel left out.
10 minutes.
Oh my god, Lurk's feeling left out. All right, Lurk. I trust Lurk. Lurk. All right, here you
I
go.
don't know. That guy's retired.
Yeah, Lurk's retired. I don't know. To be fair, I didn't even know that you were actively watching right now. I mean, you're usually actively watching, but I didn't see your name in chat, so I didn't think to ask. Yeah, we want brutally honest, unbiased opinions. I can see you being. Oh, I'm gonna be a soccer mom. You guys literally already call me one anyway. I like everything about my branding is like just becoming real. I couldn't imagine that. What couldn't you imagine? One of my little sisters was given the name Little Larry because she had scraggly hair on the edges of her head with a ball top. No! No! She came out a little coconut. She came out with a full head of hair. You give off that energy? I figured I would. I like, look, I've already embraced the title of Karen. I have embraced the title of a 40-year-old mother, you know, right? So like I will, yeah? Yeah?
You agree?
Oh, he does pork out? Yeah, you know there's actually a tick in New York, by the way, that if it bites you, you can get a permanent allergy to red meat. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun? Like, I'm surprised that like vegans haven't used it as like biological warfare. Like could you imagine PETA just like mass breeding Lone Star ticks and unloading them on the populace? Be like, yes, now none of you could have red meat. You know, I could see that type of evil. I could see PETA doing that kind of evil. I'm starting a new Terraria playthrough. Which class should I play? I mean, you're not really playing a class in Terraria until endgame. I mean, if you're gonna be doing late game, you're talking about, then go Shroom Armor, go Sniper. Alpha Gal is terrifying. Don't give them ideas. You don't want a bunch of Lone Star ticks to be airdropped into your area from the angry vegans. I recently started appearing in Europe. Oh, I'm so sorry, Edom. You're cooked. It's the thought that counts. Yeah, I get you. Yippee! All right. Next video. We've got 2 more. I'm excited for this one. Like I said before. Hey, just don't start talking already. The last one we did didn't really go over too well because it's a long form. We're gonna try a different long form with him next time. This time it's gonna be a little bit better. Oh, Apocalypse wrote, "Aw, you are right. You can just feel the sass out of her. She has the don't move and let me watch my show vibes." Penn's response was, "Aw, she's so pretty. I love her. Yas." And Lurk has not said a word.
Lurk is crying.
Lurk is just being quiet.
Lurk is literally crying.
You know, PETA once officially complained to GW about some minis having fur cloaks. Look, I'm an environmentalist, and I'm now gonna be on the hate list because I was gifted a pair of mink gloves. So like, yeah. One of my nieces came out with fire. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine a little ginger coming out. That would have been terrifying. You could say Lurk is lurking. Oh, I see what you did there. Boop. Boop, boop, boop.
Alright, since she's being done, go laundry.
Okay, also 1 second, hold on. Hey, Wisdom, are you here? Wisdom, would you like to see BB?
As soon as I say she's being good.
Oh, she's the cutest little thing in the world. Ah, my heart. YouTube ate my entire RAM and crashed my PC? Yes? Okay. I trust Wisdom, obviously. It lives and dies with our DMs. Never share it. I trust Wisdom. Well, the reason Wisdom didn't get to see it yet, Wisdom is my newest mod, but I do trust Wisdom. So I will show BB. Look at this sassy little beast. Look at her. She's just so cute. I want to show her off to the world, but I just don't want to show her off on the internet. You know, type of thing. That's kind of the problems that I face as a mother. I want to show off my child to everybody. Look at her, she's perfect! But I don't want to do it. Oh, I'm sorry, I know, your pacifier came out. I'm getting it. Ah! 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 You're so perfect, yeah. You're so cute. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. 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 I can already feel that you want to shoot the pacifier out of your mouth. Keep it in. Keep it in. Keep it in. Oh, you're so cute. Oh my god. You're such moms. She's just a little baby. Oh, she's just so perfect. Give her there's like a little tiny itty bitty cat that Euro's saying is the type of cat she would be. I am the second oldest of 7. I helped raise the last 3. This makes me miss raising them. She looks like she just witnessed a crime and is dialing 911. She's adorable. She's offended by that one. Oh my god. Bibi. Do you not like the commentary from Wisdom? No. Oh, it's okay. You know, I got you. It's okay, baby. Yeah. You gonna let Mama finish? I got 2 more videos and then I can take care of you. Yeah. Just you take a nice little. Oh, you're getting tired. Your eyelids look like they're so heavy. Just take a nap. No, her eyelids are already. Oh, she's falling asleep. I'm really rubbing her forehead and she's like passing out. Don't speak such evil again, they would do it. You know what? You're probably right. She's the littlest little meow meow. She is. Just take a nap. Just take a little nap. Uh-oh, Dawn. Okay, so now it's getting difficult. So now I'm streaming, watching the baby, and now Dawn is approaching. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm happy to do this. And chat doesn't mind this. I'm just now watching Dawn like a hawk. Where the hell did she go? She's at the window. You were right about not being biased against Bibi, right? Isn't she the cutest little thing ever? Isn't she like the cutest little thing ever? Sorry, I'm like leaning over. I'm helping her fall asleep real quick, and then we'll be able to watch this, and then we have just the Dylan one after this. She's so perfect. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yeah. I love having her with me when I work. It makes me happy because she'll fall asleep to me yelling. She'll literally fall asleep to me yelling on stream. It is just a matter of our kitten has no chill.
I'm just gonna scrub some clothes though. Do you want me to put her in the bedroom?
No, she's fine. If you can just keep Dawn away.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help her fall asleep real quick.
Oh, what happened?
Is she okay?
Yeah, she just like, are you okay?
Was that a cough?
I think so. It almost felt like she was gonna throw up.
As long as she didn't, I didn't know.
Okay.
It was perfect timing. She was like, as you touched her.
I know. But she was fine. Ow!
Okay, you okay? You okay, BB? All right, BB is trying to fall asleep. Dawn's coughing.
She's fine.
We have 3 bassinets. Yeah. Is it almost time for her to eat? Is that why she's being like this?
She's supposed to eat it. So
Okay.
I could feed her because she's
No,
gotta eat.
it's okay. She's falling asleep. If she falls asleep, I can finish. Like I have 2 more videos, and it's just like just wanna. You fall asleep, baby girl. Just don't spit the pacifier out. I know you want to. Don't do it. Girl, don't do it. I'm gonna go turn around. I'm going back to the stream. All right, we're gonna start the video. I'm a little hesitant, but we're gonna start the video. Okay. BB Duran's a 4th bassinet, yeah. Okay, let's start with the music. I don't know where Dawn is right now. I'm always afraid when Dawn's around. Okay, all right. Let me move myself over a little bit. All right. Let's start this. Let's start the video. Oh yeah, so we're gonna be watching. This is not the first time we're watching Mini Minuteman. obviously. This is the first time we're watching his debunk content. So this is one of the things people have been recommending a lot, so I'm looking forward to it. So it's a little compilation of a bunch of his shorts.
Finding a conspiracy video where the person in it debunks themselves is one of life's little pleasures. It's like a clean...
Okay, so we're starting off strong here. So he's gonna be starting off with a really big idiot. So let's see.
towel or a fresh oyster. See if you can spot the contradiction in this clip.
This sarcophagus is said to have been discarded in ancient times because it's a cut that's about 3 feet long that was just ever so slightly off-center. So here's why this doesn't make any sense. If they used copper saws, they probably would have realized they were off-center long before getting 3 feet into the cut, which tells me that whatever tool the ancient Egyptians used had to have been operating at a much faster rate.
Probably heard this one because conspiracy slop accounts repeat it constantly.
Is this really a subsection on like like TikTok? Do people actually like point this stuff out? Not to be like a I don't know, ignorant to it. I didn't even realize that there's gonna be I know conspiracies, right? I didn't expect people to be saying that Egyptians were using high-tech tools.
The fact that none of them seem to notice that it completely contradicts the point they're trying to make is proof to me that conspiracy theorists are the real sheep. The claim is that the ancient Egyptians had some sort of advanced cutting technology. The proof being how would they have gotten this far into this cut on this unfinished sarcophagus if they were using a copper saw. This is all stupid for several reasons. One, we have no idea why this sarcophagus is actually unfinished. Conspiracy theorists will tell you that it's because of this cut, but we have absolutely no proof of that whatsoever.
Okay.
These were massive, expensive projects. It's like attributing an unfinished construction project to someone cutting wood to the wrong length. Two, it's not actually off the line. You got what, like 1/3 of an inch of drop over those 3 feet? And that brings me to point 3, the most important one that I cannot fathom how these people don't see. But this is actually evidence that they didn't have advanced cutting technology.
Right.
Because if they had fucking power tools, they could finish this cut in like a minute. By the time they put this thing down, they'd already put hundreds of man-hours into it. Even has the audacity to show an image of an Egyptian using a copper saw in his video. I'm not saying that this would have been easy.
Do you think that these people, like these TikTok influencers, are just full of BS and that they're doing it for like the love of the game, like to get, or not love the game, but like to make money? Like they're just trying to do it for the grift? Or do we think that these people actually believe it? That's one of my questions I would have right away. Like, I would want to know if this person actually believes in the crap that he's spewing.
But what I am saying is that people who think ancient cultures needed power tools to achieve these things have soft hands.
You don't understand, Hedra? The ancient aliens taught us their ancient white Okay, I thought the cat just jumped up. I almost had a heart attack. The ancient aliens taught our ancient white ancestors to use the psychic powers to introduce harmonic levitation to the power of laser tools. Mainstream science is lying. That hurt my brain more than this video, Zinth. Thank you.
Video is like way longer, and I found it while doing a deep dive into the horrible world of TikTok conspiracy slop, which I just made a whole YouTube video on. So if stuff like this cracks you up as much as it does me, you should come check it out.
I'll have to
YouTube
watch that.
channel Mini Minute Man. We're almost at 3 mil. See you there.
Oh, look at
Y'all
that.
ever watch a video of a creator giving like a fun fact, and at the end of it, something just doesn't sit right with you, and you can't quite put your finger on it? I think this video is the most.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna be able to do this video. Okay. All right, baby. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. I have a feeling she's gonna be difficult the entire time. Okay. BB, can you let me do the video, please? I know you want me to keep on putting your pacifier in because you can, but I know you're tired. Just take a nap. Just go to sleep, little one. Okay. There you go. Close your eyes. She's so tired. You know when a baby's overtired? That's her right now. She's not even fussy. She's just really tired. I mean, I guess that is fussy, but she's literally falling asleep. She's literally falling asleep right now. She's just being a little bit difficult. It's okay. No, it's okay. We're good. We're good. I'm just trying to rub her forehead, make her fall asleep, and then I'll continue. It's not a big deal. It just makes me have a little bit more editing to do. They had water-powered saws, but they were very big and used gravity and running water to sharpen large stones and carve out the rest with chisels and hand tools. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think she's finally falling asleep. Okay. We're back. We're back. She's so cute. Oh my god, she's the cutest little thing in the world.
Perfect example of that, and I'm going to explain why.
Rongo Ongo tablets in Easter Island have scriptures hinting at ancient.
Why is she like hovering over her phone? Like, I feel like her phone is on her bed while she's, like hovered over it, just looking down. Why? Why would you do that positioning?
Civilizations that people have just completely forgotten about.
The thing she's talking about here is this writing system called Rongo Rongo. It's from Easter Island or Rapa Nui. You know it, it's the place with the big heads. And it's true that it hasn't been deciphered yet, but that's not really the point here. What was that thing that she said right after that?
Hinting at ancient civilizations that people have just completely forgotten about.
Rongo Rongo is the script of the Rapa Nui people. And not only have the Rapa Nui people not been forgotten, the Rapa Nui people still fucking exist. It was their ancestors that created this language. And the reason it's so hard to translate is because it's one of only a few places in the world where writing arose in a vacuum with no external influence.
Okay, that's really fair then.
Not only does it have no known parent language, but the Rapa Nui read and wrote in this script up until the 1800s. This is when the Rapa Nui were brutally colonized, enslaved, and massacred. During that colonization, hundreds to thousands of these tablets were lost and destroyed, and everyone with the ability to read it was forgotten about. There's only about 30 of these tablets.
Alright, hold on. Gotta pause again. BB. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry, chat. Give me just a minute. Okay. What were you saying, Yura?
Hold her in the seat.
Okay.
Oh, is she sleeping?
No, she's not. She keeps on doing this and spitting it out. It's hard to do this when recording. Okay, give her a kiss.
I'm gonna sit right over here.
Okay, I want to give her a kiss. I want to give Bibi a kiss. My little baby girl. She's so cute. Oh my god. I might just leave this in. I might just leave this in the video. You guys will just have a very weirdly elongated short video with we're trying to watch conspiracy stuff and it's just me stopping and talking to my baby. No, I know you guys understand. I know you do. It's see, on Twitch it doesn't matter at all, right? Because it's not a recording. On here it's tough because I have to balance it all. I mean, obviously she's priority. It goes without even saying. She's obviously priority. That's why I keep on pausing. I always wonder how that comes off. BB Noise, I came back at the best time. I love you guys. You guys are wonderful. We have a great community. Okay, all right. Back to the Rapa Nui language.
Even left in existence, and they're either in museums or private collections. And not a single one is in the hands of the people whose ancestors created them. Phrasing this story in this way is just so weird and irresponsible. Now, I know she's not trying to cause any harm here. She's just regurgitating something she heard someone else say. But it's a perfect example of how if you're a creator with a large account and you claim to educate people, you have an obligation to educate yourself first. Came across this video while doing a dive into conspiracy slop TikTok, and it's really only the tip of the...
Yeah, we're teaching the baby how to spot grifters on the internet. That's what we're doing right now. This is conspiracy slop. We are also. What on earth did I pause on? What is this image? What is this image?
The iceberg. It got so much worse, which I just had to make a whole YouTube video about. So if this stuff pisses you off as much as it does me, you should come check it out. YouTube channel, Mini Minute Man. Look at that. We're almost at 3 mil. See you there. Yes,
oh, come on!
Right there. That's exactly the same face that I made when I saw this for the first time. Can you imagine if the world worked like this? Someone's walking on the other side of the planet from you and you jump really hard.
Is this supposed to be like someone claiming the earth is flat or something? Like, what on earth?
The ground just shoots right up, hits them right in the balls. It's like a giant pin board, one of these things. These things even have a name. I don't know what this is. A thing. It's the pin thing. The world would honestly just be a better place if this is how it worked. I'd be doing shit like this all the time, scare the fuck out of some random kid on the other side of the planet. I would have loved to have seen the entire kinetic energy of a meteorite just transfer through the whole planet in an instant. Oh, you're wasting your breath. People don't actually believe this. Partially correct. They actually believe things that are worse than this. This is like the top comment. It's like just a...
The Fallen made these on impact. No meteors or asteroids. The Fallen? What are the Fallen? Is there actually... Are like people like theory crafting like that there's like these beings that have fallen on Earth or something?
Classic conspiracy theorist pissing contest. Can you guys believe a meteor did this? Pff, you sheep, you believe in meteors? If you have a friend that hates stupid conspiracy theories, send this to them to make their head explode.
We all just kind of accept the ancient cave drawings have like depictions of spaceships.
I haven't invented the light bulb, but yeah, we have flying saucers in all of these drawings from around the world.
That kid reminds me of this woman. This is Linda, and she's holding a piece of toast that she says has a picture of Jesus on it. The burn on this toast is of course not a picture of Jesus.
Oh, this
but
hurts
Linda
my soul.
has an idea in her head of what Jesus looks like and sees a similarity in the burn on this piece of toast. So why does our mousy-haired friend here remind me of Linda? They don't seem to have too much in common. Linda here is wearing a ring that's probably worth as much as a house. Judging by the poster, the speaker, and the guitar neck, this guy's gone as Ghostface for Halloween at least twice. What they have in common is that both of them are victims of their own imagination. This kid's never seen a UFO in his life, but he has a preconception of what a UFO or an extraterrestrial would look like because of popular media. So he projects these things onto ancient art in order to see exactly what he wants to see. The problem with a lot of ancient art is that it's a Rorschach test. We understand.
My question is this. I want to know why teenagers think that they understand things better than experts who have been putting like decades of their lives in fields, and just be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm some random kid from like Wisconsin, and I gotta tell you that I can see aliens in ancient art, and these experts that have been doing this for the last 40 years of their careers haven't seen it. I am just a genius, and I have caught on to what the media doesn't want you to understand. Like I don't understand what goes on in the head of somebody like that.
Understand precious little about the people that created them and why, which makes it easy for guys like this to just confidently say whatever they want. Well, it's easy to be like, oh, we're just having fun here. The real problem is that it poisons the well. How are we ever supposed to actually understand these things? The public perception is constantly being poisoned by stupid shit like this. Your brain is a powerful thing for no fault of our own. And it's important to remember that when you start seeing aliens on walls and Jesuses on a piece of toast. Share this with your friends.
Look, I was a stupid kid, right? Like, I was a dumb teenager. I went to concerts. I was doing dumb stuff. I was reckless as all hell before Eura, right? So I get the stupidity element and your brain not being developed. I would never go onto a public media, I guess again, social media is different than when I was younger, right? But like, I would never go on to a public forum and be like, yeah, I know better than the experts. Like, you know what I mean?
Whose room looks exactly like this. I'll see you in the next one. Don't you just hate when you come across a post and you're like, wow, this looks really cool. And then you go to read the description and you're like, oh no, I'm just on crazy person Instagram. This is at an Incan temple in Peru. Guy walking around shining a UV light at some of the rocks, as one does. And look, some of them glow. I've been doing this long enough to know that if you come across a video of a guy making Incan ruins glow, the real treat is gonna be in the description.
Oh, no.
The ancient stonework of Peru is in fact a chemically manufactured product. Come on guys, what did I tell you? This guy's saying that these stones were not carved but cast out of like an ancient geopolymer. How they had the technology to cast a stone but not carve a stone, I have no idea. But he's saying that these fluorescent mineral deposits are evidence of this. Because you can find efflorescence in modern concrete, and that's a geopolymer, so if there's efflorescence here, then it must
This
also
is worse
be a
than the Dylan
geopolymer.
content.
This is possibly the worst line of reasoning
This
I've
hurts me
ever
more
heard
than the
from
Dylan
anything.
recipes.
When it rains, minerals dissolve in the water, and when that water evaporates, it leaves the minerals behind. Depending on the minerals, some of them can glow. I think the one in this video could be gypsum because it's green when the light is close and it's blue farther away. But this is a completely natural process that happens everywhere from Peru to a concrete bridge. If this guy really wanted to prove this was a geopolymer,
Miniman must actually get angry. Like, if this was the content I had to make, well, mind you, it's very entertaining, and I'm hoping, it obviously makes him very successful. I would be fuming going through these. I feel like that's how Hank Green goes through this too, right? When he has to deal with this stuff, when he's talking about like medical and science news. I feel like these creators must deal with so much exhaustion from the brain rot.
he would need to test a sample of the stone, which has already been done and proven that they are natural stones. And better yet, we know the exact quarries that they come from. So the real shocking conclusion that this guy made in this video is that both an Incan ruin and a concrete bridge can get wet sometimes. If you like stupid stuff like this, you should sauce me a follow. See you in the next one.
Ancient lasers.
Ancient fucking lasers. Got fucking Theta Chi here talking about ancient fucking lasers.
The base of the pyramid is perfectly leveled to within 3/4 of an inch.
I do not believe that this man on screen right now believes what he is saying. I believe that this guy is legitimately just a grifter. I refuse to believe that this guy believes in ancient aliens shooting lasers from space. No way.
Something that's, again, only possible with, like, laser technology today.
A fucking skill issue, Philip. Yet again, you missed the opportunity here to actually talk about some interesting history, so I'll do it for you. One of the theories for how they managed to get the base of the pyramid so level is lasers. I'm fucking kidding, of course not. Is water. Nature is a pretty amazing toolbox, and water has a habit when it's undisturbed to be completely flat. One of the theories for the way that they managed to get the base of the pyramid so level is they flooded the bottom place where the first blocks were going, and then they were able to etch into the side the height that the water was at. That way, when they placed the blocks in, everything was going to be completely symmetrical the whole way up. See, Philip? Smarter, not harder. Just because we'd be too stupid to figure it out doesn't mean that they were. Yet again, you missed the opportunity here to actually talk about some interesting histories.
Wait a minute. Does he go off on like, does he make videos just debunking this one dumbass? Does he actually go out of his way to do that? That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I'll do it for you.
Did you hear about the huge scientific announcement and discovery on the Easter Islands?
A huge scientific announcement discovery? I didn't even know that scientific was a word. Tell us, just try not to use any more, long convoluted words that, may or may not be real to try and make whatever pseudoscience bullshit you're about to sell us sound plausible.
Scientists have been able to shoot photon protein fiber beams with LiDAR AI.
What series of words did he just say?
Bullshit you're about to sell us sound plausible.
Scientists.
Photon protein fiber beams.
Have been able to shoot photon protein fiber beams with LiDAR AI technology, found symbolage on the chest that they never knew was there, and then that hand signalage.
You're telling me that the laser, LiDAR, protein, photon, laser AI, LiDAR technology found hand signage and signalage? This truly is a major breakthrough in the scientific community.
Symbolage on the chest is Egyptian hieroglyphics, and they're like, how in the world did Egyptians get to the Easter Islands 6,000 to 10,000?
I hate this. I hate this so much. When all information is presented as equally valid, people lose their critical thinking skills. That's the biggest flaw of the internet and even mainstream media in general these days. I agree with that wholeheartedly. This hurts my soul. Like there is somebody who's gonna watch this and believe it, and that hurts me.
Years ago, because that's how the writing is.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? No, it isn't, no, they didn't, and no, they're not. I can't find any recent studies of the Moai heads being scanned to look for symbols, so whatever recent study he's referencing here is something he just made up. The oldest of these statues is like 1,200 years old. Not 6,000 to 10,000, which is a number he just pulls completely out of his ass. The oldest Egyptian hieroglyphics, which he says these are only 4,000 years old. That's 2,000 years older than the youngest date he gives for this, and they're in fucking Egypt. You don't have to have a goddamn PhD in archaeology to know that those look nothing like Egyptian hieroglyphic. But don't worry, he's got an explanation for that.
Egyptian writing's a little different. They're calling it Reformed Egyptian.
Refined Egyptian? That sounds scientific. Of course, the language that the Book of Mormon was written in, that only Joseph Smith could read. So it looks like this 10,000-year-old writing on this 1,000-year-old statue is in a language that only...
The person sitting there, everything about him makes me angry. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if it's the fact that he's like holding one of those microphones that are supposed to be like pinned to your shirt. I don't know if it's the way that he's like has the camera angled looking down. I don't know if it's the way he speaks. It sets off like a fight or flight response in me that I didn't know I had. Like I there's many things I would say that would feel like an extreme extrapolation, but they would be breaking TOS, and I'm not going to do it. But like, he gives me the worst kind of ick vibes humanly possible.
Exists in a religion based on pseudo-archaeology. Checkmate, scientifics. If you want to learn more about the horrible world of pseudo-archaeology, I got some fun stuff over on YouTube. Come check me out at Mini-Minuteman. What a neat image. I sure hope this isn't some brain-dead pseudo-archaeology conspiracy theory. Fuck me, I guess. Alright, y'all want to hear something stupid? Bear with me on this. Remember, this bizarre, mortarless, complex to the point of impracticality, yet nearly indestructible form of polygonal masonry was convergently developed all around the world. So it's impractical, yet indestructible. That doesn't sound very fucking impractical to me. They also mention they don't have mortar. Makes masonry like this even more practical. You see how conspiracy theorists will just like say shit and expect you to think it's true? You can't just say it's impractical.
Oh, thank you so much, Thamagorian. Thank you so much for joining Little Beans. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy the emotes.
And then give multiple reasons why it would have been super practical and developed independently in multiple different parts of the world. In cultures with no communication, of which none possessed sufficient tools to quarry, transport, carve, or place the stones. Then how the fuck did the stones get there? Also, no communication? If they couldn't talk to each other, how did they know to make the stones stay together? So more than half of these are like geographically really close to each other, which makes the communication thing make even less sense. No tools or quarry. Here's the quarry for Machu Picchu, and for the pyramids, and Saksai Woman. Man, this is just embarrassing.
Now, there's a new term called dinosaur deniers.
Oh my god. It's just the way that they look on the screen. You can just feel the grift in their eyes. Also, what does it mean that that's like the third video we've seen with Stitch incoming? What does Stitch incoming mean? Is that like a thing that conspiracy nuts use as like some dog whistle?
Apparently a lot of people are denying their very existence, but how could you when you can see it so clearly right there?
Yeah, that's a good question. How could you? You'd have to be like a real gullible moron to deny what's directly in front of your eyes. I mean, what do you think? I'm gonna believe the physical evidence or all the research that proves the existence of dinosaurs? Please, I'm not a woke sheep, okay? I'm not gonna listen to any of that evidence that makes me challenge my pre-existing anti-establishment biases, because I am a third eye open free thinker. This guy literally makes like upwards of 30 videos like this every single day. I was like, oh, it'll be fun to talk about this guy a little bit. And it turns into a goddamn 3-part YouTube series. The whole thing is 6 goddamn hours long. I don't know what I was thinking with this. But if you need something to binge while you play video games, well, you're in luck.
This is another person he spends hours debunking?
Because the final part comes out tonight. Talks about young earth creationism and pseudo-archaeology. YouTube channel Mini Minuteman, and if you're watching it early enough, you can even catch me at the live premiere. I hope you at least enjoy it, because this series took years off of my life. Are we fucking for real right now? You guys remember like the good old days of conspiracy theories, when a hardworking conspiracy theorist needed to know how to do a double exposure, or be really good at using Photoshop? Now they can just type some fucking words into an image generation software and create an atrocity like this.
Yep.
It's heartbreaking, honestly. This is obviously from where the fuck else? Facebook, which is a fertile breeding ground for the AI-generated image conspiracy theorist. Those little fucking pests. Put all these guys out of business. Poor bastards, backbone of the American economy, been coming up with conspiracy theories for generations. Probably the only thing more insane than these images existing in the first.
Speaking of conspiracy stuff, did you guys hear that the lead expert in like trying to prove that Loch Ness Monster's real has said that after 40 years he's like, the Loch Ness Monster's not real?
First place is the comments on them being like, oh yeah, it says something about that in the Bible. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super familiar with the Bible, but I feel like this is something that would make God cry. So I decided to do a whole deep dive into shitty Facebook AI conspiracy theories, including that fucking burly, that thing. Come check it out, YouTube
so
channel.
that one I've seen. The one he just pointed to, the big dude holding the pillars. I have seen that one for a while, and I don't, not that exact picture, but like the fact that there were giants in Egypt, that was like a weird conspiracy trend. Like I like 5 years ago, I saw it all over the internet, and I do not know why.
Man. And if you're watching this early, you can even catch me at the live premiere, Sunday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Can any of y'all help me figure out what this even means? Where ancient bones meet modern mysteries, decoding the impossible. I think they're trying to say that this is like a bicycle made of bones, which is a stretch because I can't actually tell what the fuck that is. But are they trying to say that like ancient people made a bicycle out of bones? Or are they saying that this was like a bicycle bones, like it was a living bicycle? I have no fucking idea, but it confused me so much that I had to do a reverse image search of this. My hope was that I'd find where this image actually came from. What I found instead is how it sort of human centipeded its way through these terrible run-of-the-mill pseudo-archaeology accounts. Look, here it is on Facebook. A bike found in a medieval tomb tells us we need to question our history. Only question I got is why someone posting cringe like this allowed to have access to the internet.
Yeah,
oh, look, here it is again on another Facebook page. This time they're saying it's 2,000 years old. Well, I thought it was medieval. Are you guys not fact-checking this? Oh god, look, it's here. It's on Instagram again. Bicycle in a medieval tomb? What do you know about this finding of a bike? Not fucking much, actually. That's what I'm trying to figure out, but you guys are all so goddamn unhelpful. I find it absolutely hilarious that conspiracy grifters like this will always talk about how we need to challenge the paradigm and, you know, think outside the narrative. And literally all they do is just blindly follow things that reinforce their beliefs. There's no research, there's no critical thinking, it's just being a contrarian little pissant for the sake of engagement. It's embarrassing, it's cringe, and it will reinforce the anti-science dogma that will literally be the downfall of our civilization.
Yeah.
If you think this is bad, you should come watch my video on Facebook AI archaeology conspiracies. It's the kind of video that'll...
I will say this, the anti-science ideology is really bad, and it's getting worse.
It'll make you feel like the internet was just a big mistake. Come check it out, YouTube channel Mini Minuteman. Don't you just love when you get a post like this? Ancient runes found in Canadian wilderness baffle archaeologists? There are no answers. Wow, that's crazy. You read the description and you're like, oh, so there actually are answers. You're just being intentionally vague and misleading. You gotta see why this type of phrasing is so irresponsible. Firstly, what the fuck even is this? This rock recently discovered in Canada has the Lord's Prayer.
Side note, I just saw that the poster had a check mark. I have gotten to the point now where if I see a blue check mark on Twitter, I just assume that your opinion is invalid. It sounds horrible, but I don't believe that check marks are real people anymore. I just think that every single blue check mark on Twitter is in fact a bot, because I see the same rhetoric in every comment section under every post where you could just read read the comment and it does not sound human. It's the same exact, and the thing is, real people will then reply to them thinking that it's a person when it's just a soulless bot. It is just a soulless bot.
Written in runes. So how'd they get there? You might be thinking to yourself, well, didn't Vikings make it to the Americas? Good thinking, but the Vikings were all the way over here, and there is no other archaeological context whatsoever to suggest that they were by Lake Superior. Okay, so then how'd this get here? Well, the archaeologists researching this site, you know, the ones who are just so stupid, figured out that this particular translation of the Lord's Prayer was widely republished in the 19th century. During the 19th century, the Hudson Bay Company had outposts in this area, and employed, wouldn't you know it, a lot of Swedes. So the consensus is that these runes were carved by a group of devout Swedish workers at a remote outpost. They likely created this in their free time as a place to worship. But what's the problem with phrasing it like it's a big mystery that science just can't explain? I'll give you a single guess. Nice job, you guessed it. It's vague white supremacy. I'll just interpret it as I'm living on Viking land, not indigenous. It's crazy to look at a continent totally covered in Native American ruins and be like, nah, I don't believe that because it's on Instagram post. I hate to say it, but if you're convinced that easily, sounds like you were just looking for an excuse to say, oh, it was a white dude. Clickbait phrasing like this kind of seems harmless, but it encourages pseudoscience and the bullshit that comes with it. If you want to learn about real, actual mysterious archaeology, come check out my video. Like this one on the...
No, so Zin, same thing. I used to, when the blue checkmark first came out, I paid for it because as a content creator, I wanted to have more reach as possible. I wanted to have as much reach as possible. And I did like being able to write long-winded things. I used to write advice pieces for creators who wanted to grow. So I would write these long-winded things explaining how to do it. And then I'm like, why am I giving this guy money? Like, I'm getting nothing out of this. Like, what am I getting? Like, 5% more interaction at the expense of, like, $15 a month? No. And then it just gets muddied down by, like, every damn bot, like, on the website. It's ridiculous. I still love the fact that the website was obtained under the premise that there were bots, and then once it was obtained, bots multiplied, like, by 100-fold. All right, continuing.
Great Circle Earthworks. Or this one on the actual sacred geometry at the Octagon Earthworks. Come learn some real shit. YouTube channel Mini Minuteman.
You're telling me that the burning ball of energy in the sky that
Stitch
every
incoming
society worshipped somehow bad for us?
Where are you going with this one, buddy?
Why is melanoma associated with low vitamin D?
Holy shit. We got melanoma conspiracies before GTA 6. You know,
what?
It's not the vitamin D that causes melanoma, right? It's the fucking radiation. When you go outside and you feel the sun all warm on your face, it's radiation. Radiation damages your cells and your DNA, which makes it hard for them to reproduce, which causes cancer. If you want to argue with me that radiation doesn't cause cancer, you're the dumbest person on the planet.
To block the sun, why are they also simultaneously building solar panel farms?
Huh?
That's because you, I cannot believe I have to say this, are not a fucking solar panel.
How dumb do you think that we are?
Really dumb. I think you are profoundly, really very, very dumb. If you want to rot your brain even more, go check out my latest video.
Wait a minute. I think I need to check something. Wait.
How dumb do
you... You know, anybody who has that as like their tagline for their name, I'm not surprised, right? Like, like the people who are like, "Oh, I'm on the carnivore diet." Yeah, I'm not
really
surprised.
Dumb. I think you are profoundly, really, very, very
They're just
dumb.
meat vegans.
If you want to rot your brain even more, go check out my latest video on YouTube. It's on Facebook AI Conspiracy Theories. YouTube channel Mini Minuteman. Why do I do this to myself?
In the last 65 million years, Earth nearly doubled in size. The last redoubling took 600 million years.
Every time I think I've heard the most insane bullshit conspiracy theorists can come up with, I find that it can actually get worse. Yeah, that's right. This is a conspiracy theory that plate tectonics don't exist and that the Earth is expanding very quickly. Does this make any sense? No, of course not. This doesn't make any goddamn sense at all. But that didn't stop this guy from making a 10-minute YouTube video about it. And I watched the whole damn thing multiple times.
Why?
It caused my brain to turn to liquid and leak out of my ears. And I promise you, no matter how stupid you think this sounds,
It's worse. The stupidity, it just sucked me in. It was just too juicy. So of course, I had to make a full breakdown of the entire thing. My full video on the Expanding Earth Conspiracy Debunked is up now on YouTube. Channel's Mini Minute Man. Look at that, we just hit 2 million. If you're watching this early enough, you can even catch me at the live premiere, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. I'll see you there. Bring beer.
Looks to be like it's throwing a wrench in the gears in the official story.
You can't be serious, not the official story. I can hear it now, the sound of mainstream academia quaking in their boots.
People find seashells all the time that are old. Except they're at the top of a mountain. The mountain was under an ocean at one point.
Kind of, actually. It wasn't really that the sea was above the mountains, it was more that the mountains weren't there, and so it was a seabed, and then it got pushed up to a mountain.
Yeah.
But you're on the right track. Why'd you phrase it like that, with the whole throwing a wrench thing? Oh, you're doing young Earth creationism. Fuck.
3 billion years ago. Do these look like 3 billion-year-old shells?
3 billion. Billion with a B. Hell no.
Okay, this is also the same guy from earlier because he's wearing that same stupid hat. He just has more facial hair. Do these people just believe every conspiracy theory? Because I'm assuming if he's a conspiracy channel, he's going to like just put all of them together. But like, are these conspiracy nuts just grifting every conspiracy in one place and they just believe everything that's stupid? To Collaboration Station coming, replaying 2 originals short on TikTok. Hope that helps. I still hate it. Thank you though. Fun fact, the main writer of Batman in the 80s is a big proponent of the expanding Earth theory and uses it to harass my master's Really? 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 I hate that.
Hell, that like predates multicellular life. What in the... Okay, real talk, guys. Come here for a sec. This guy makes so many conspiracy videos. You guys know how I did that thing last year with Philip Zebo where I debunked all of his videos? Well, I decided to do it with this guy as well. I don't know why. I don't know why I do this to myself. Part 1 premieres this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check it out, YouTube Mini Minute Man.
You ever wondered why all the ancients used to hold canes?
I always thought it was just because, you know, they look cool, but let me guess, there's a shocking truth that they don't want you to know
They're
about.
not
Also,
ancients.
did you just call these people ancients?
What?
This photo's like 150 years old. What the hell are you talking about?
Today have rubber tips. Ancient canes used metal handles, wooden pole. Electromagnetic energy of the earth was connected to the body by grounding these poles.
Did I like black out? What the hell was that? I'm no expert in electromagnetic waves, but I don't think it works like that. Like, we're surrounded by electromagnetic waves all the time. It's not like electricity coming through a cable that you need to be grounded for. Even if it did work like that, wood isn't...
I don't think our child likes the idea that canes were used to channel electric currents throughout the earth. I don't think she's on board with that. BB is saying that this is a little bit silly.
Conductive, so you wouldn't even be grounded anyway. And the reason we use so much plastic now is because it's a lot more affordable.
It's ancient in American terms. This is a British person who's speaking about the damn canes. Don't even give me that crap about it being American.
And accessible to produce than milling wood and casting bronze. And lastly, and most importantly, the reason we don't do this anymore is because fashion has changed. If I saw somebody walking around with this who didn't need it for mobility, I would whack them with it. If you get a kick out of this stupid stuff, you should go check out my YouTube videos. YouTube channel, Mini Minute Man. See you there.
Now this right here makes complete and total sense. Our ancient ancestors had access to sophisticated laser technology that
makes complete and total sense. I want you to look me dead in my motherfucking eyes and try and tell me with a straight face that makes complete and total sense.
How is it possible to look at these beautiful designs and believe the official narrative that these were simply carved with a copper chisel?
You can literally do that today. There are literally people who have replicated doing this and will do it today.
And a hammer.
So let me get this fucking straight. You got a hard time believing in hammers and chisels, but lasers make complete and total sense. I don't know where you work, son, but I can tell you they ain't running enough drug tests. Talk like what you're trying to do is have a reverence and appreciation for these sites. But do you not see how insulting this is? Claiming that this couldn't have been done by artists and that it had to have been done by lasers. I know it's a hard pill to swallow that these ancient people with simple hammers and chisels are more talented than you'll ever be, but you better start believing it. Now go watch my fucking...
Bros onto capital N nothing.
Striking resemblance to Egypt's Great Sphinx raises the question, ancient monument?
How much longer is this compilation that was given to me? Oh my god, this is hurting my soul!
Some believe it's the work of a lost civilization. No official excavation has been done, leaving its origins shrouded in secrecy.
What's my evidence for this baseless conjecture? Vibes. I'm like an archaeologist, but you know, I work in like the vibes department. It kind of looks like the Sphinx, and basic critical thinking is for complete losers, so this is enough evidence for me. Now, granted, this doesn't rule out that it's a natural feature, but it does phrase it like a coin toss, which is bullshit. But the best part of this is that literally all of the evidence provided here is that this is a natural feature. Symmetric pattern?
Thank you for resubscribing as a Gillimon Blueberry. I thought my faith in humanity had reached rock bottom ages ago, but this collection of anti-intellectual snake oils shills have proven me wrong. I'm dying.
Try varves. Literally just the alternating layers of sediment in sedimentary rock. Niches, pillars, steps, weathered sedimentary rock. And the best part, it literally says sediment. Cracks me up to no end that people be like, yeah, my third eye is open. And they just don't know how rocks work.
Still unclear who created these mathematically precise spirals.
Aliens, dude. Obviously.
The spirals, it's the spiral that will pierce the heavens.
Fucking spirals. Ready to watch a guy give the actual explanation for this and then somehow still act like it's some great mystery?
That the spirals were tunnels dug by ancient beavers. However, modern beavers do not dig such tunnels. Therefore, this explanation is debatable.
No, it really fucking isn't, actually.
But modern beavers do this, so how could beavers have done that?
These are 20 million years old. So why would you even make that comparison unless you're trying to obfuscate to make it sound all mysterious? This is called a trace fossil. It's a fossilized burrow. It was created by this thing, the paleocaster, an ancient relative of the beaver. They know this because they find them fossilized at the bottom of these burrows, which he literally shows an image of in this video. So unless the theory here is like ancient aliens dug these corkscrews to hide their beavers,
It literally has the
no
beaver
fucking
in the
idea what
tunnel.
the implication is with this, other than you being a science literate grifter. Anyway, if you hate pseudoscience bullshit as
I
much as I
do.
do, you should come check out my full
I
videos
do.
over on YouTube channel Mini.
Oh, that hurt my soul. Oh, that hurt my soul. I can't wait to watch more. Oh. So how did we feel about that? Did we enjoy it? Did we have fun? We have one more itty bitty video to go, and then we're free. And then we're free. Oh, that was awful. Like, you know how Yura sometimes does that, the old person voice? That's Yura, can you give me the old person voice, please? Ugh. Yura, I don't think I can make you watch that. And of course I'm getting a phone call right now. Like, I love that. All right, hold on, Deemers. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. That was BB Doctor. That was BB Doctor. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, Yura, I would never make you watch this. It would actually cause you physical pain. It's brain rot. It is the worst kind of brain rot. All right, we are on the final. A chocolate. Sorry. The last bit of the video for today, we have Dylan. All right, who is ready for some B. Dylan Hollis good videos, good recipes? We get to see more happiness, even though a lot of people didn't like my takes on mayonnaise and my takes on avocados in the last one. That's okay. I still love you all. Mwah. So let's see some more good recipes from Dylan.
Deepens the chocolate, keeps it nice and moist. I don't make the rules.
He's very moist. What can we say?
Potato cake from.
Okay, I would say that this is probably good. I wouldn't be. Why did subtitles just suddenly go on? I don't want this. Excuse me. No. I don't want closed captions. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway, I would bet this is gonna be good because potato, chocolate, good, right? Because chocolate covered potato chips work.
1912. This is why we don't perform lobotomies anymore. Boil a potato. Did I mention this was a cake? Skins stay on.
Yeah, I feel like this would work.
Cream the butter.
This shouldn't offend you.
Coffee first. Butter go boom. Should be a pale white. Eggy. Wakey. Who's tough now? Moo juice.
This one is like the least surprising. Like, you think about it, right? Because there's already potato bread. Potato bread is like the potato buns are arguably the best bun, right? You could have potato as flour. There's potato flour. It doesn't surprise me that you can have potato cake.
Chocolate. I bet this recipe is just all the wrong answers on a baking test. Smells like dentures. Go away. Goodbye. For the icing, we boil butter, sugar, milk, and chocolate.
Boil.
My time has come. Not bad, dead people. All right.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to work. It's incredible, and I'm mad about it. Christmas crack from
Whoa.
the 70s. Now, if it weren't already obvious by the name,
I wanna
this
make it
recipe
already.
hails from the USA, where it is a Christmas staple. They do things differently around
It's a staple? I've never heard of it as an American.
here. We start with a whole sleeve of saltine crackers. I'm guessing that's where the name comes from, which is disappointing. We line these up flat over some good foil. Now into a saucepan goes 1 cup of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. Fire! We're boiling for 5 minutes.
All right, this already sounds good.
Now we pour this over the crackers. With the saltines. Oh dear. Then 350 for 7
this sounds like-
minutes.
it's
As
just-
soon as
this
these come
sounds
out of the
wonderful.
oven, we top with a whole bag of chalky chips. Then spread. Ooh, I see what you're working with. Then you can top this with whatever you want. I'm gonna use walnuts. To the fridge. Done. Hello. And
I
now
bet
we
it's
crack
good.
the sheet.
Yeah, it sounds
the name is
good.
making a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
My goodness. America.
You're from New York, it doesn't count. What do you mean it doesn't count? How does being from New York make it not count? How are you invalidating my state?
You've done it again. This is fantastic. The Christmas fruitcake from 1900.
No.
So I've never made a fruitcake.
I refuse.
But if you're anything like me, you are one. Start with 1.5.
I feel called out. I'm feeling called out. Wait a minute.
Half cups of butter and 3 cups of brown sugar. Half cup of treacle and 6 eggs. How big is this cake? 4.5 cups of flour, nutmeg, cloves, allspice, cinnamon, plus 1.5 teaspoons of floof powder. Get in. I present to you the fruit. The mix is 8 ounces each of candied orange peel, pineapple, cherries, dried figs, currants, dates, raisins, all soaked in an obscene amount of brandy. Look away,
We
kids.
need to have a conversation. We need to have a conversation. Wait, New York's a state? I thought it was a city? Yeah, that's why it's called New York, New York. Please tell me you're trolling me. New York is a state. I mean, I happen to be from the city, but New York is a state.
Ooh, that hurts. It's been festering for a few days. 3 cups of walnuts. This is ridiculous. A lot of fruit, brandy, and nuts. Sounds like a good weekend. 300 for 2 hours. Done. Now time for a cheesecloth and more brandy. Well, there goes that. And now we just wait.
What do you mean New York? In what world do New York State people not recognize New York City as part of the state? What crack are you smoking? what? Oh, I'm moving on.
I feel like I'm exhuming a body.
Hello. No. Is it actually good?
Well,
No.
it's very moist and very potent. Don't feed too much to Grandpa. He won't make it down the stairs. Love it or hate it, it's the taste of Christmas. And that's quite fine by me. Coconut ice from 61. Now, it's come to my attention that a lot of Americans don't like coconut, and you know what? It's okay to be wrong. But this here is an old school
Coconut's
British
wonderful.
candy which looks too simple to be good. We begin with a 15-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Half of it goes in one bowl, the other half in another. Then into each bowl goes a cup of powdered sugar. My sweet tooth is tingling. Mix. Then we dye
I
one
need to
bowl
bake
pink
more
by
again.
using a few drops of red food coloring. Boop. You know, as a kid, I've always loved pink, which was the first of many signs. Then a little bit of Nilla. Finally, to each bowl goes 2
I love him so much.
cups of coconut flakes. Don't use sweetened. You will kill somebody. 1.
Strider, I don't think you speak for everybody. I don't think you speak for everybody in New York State saying you don't like New York City. I understand. Do I give you the ick? You actively subscribe to a New York City streamer. What do you mean the people give you an ick? What do you mean?
2. Then to an 8-inch parchment-lined pan goes the first layer. Gotta pack it tight. Then the second. This is fun.
So wait,
And
what is
that's
this
it.
one?
Pop it in the fridge for at least 3 hours to set. Ooh. Oh my goodness.
It looks good.
These are just lovely. What do you think?
There's no ice in these.
The perfect summer candy. Copycat Almond Joys from 1953. Yes, copycat recipes are nothing new, and neither are Almond Joys. In fact, one Mrs. Kirk from Montgomery, Alabama loved them so much she wanted to make them herself. Let's go, honey. We start with an entire 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, to which we add 2 cups of powdered sugar.
I'm just saying that you never see us New York State people have a smile. Nobody in New York City has a smile in New York City. It has nothing to do with you being upstate. It is nobody walks around Manhattan with a big smile on their face except for tourists. I think it's because upstate New York is so much more laid back, right? Like, it's a different way of life. So I can see, like, the fast pace of the city is not what you would consider fun. But I mean, like, it's just a different alternative. It's still part of New York. Like, this is like the most wild conversation. I'm trying to watch recipes. And my city's being invalidated as part of New York. Oh my god. Oh, it's too funny. It's too funny. I'll tell you what. We can have New York City taken out of New York the second Albany gets taken out of New York and all their horrible policies. Doesn't that sound good? Thank you for joining Alfari. It's God of Bread. I love and appreciate you. Enjoy the emotes. I appreciate you. I can't wrap my head around. I have talked to people outside of the city more times in my life than I can count. I have never heard someone speak. Nah, we don't recognize New York City as part of our state. New York City's not real. It's a psyop. I'm like not mad or anything. I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've heard. To reiterate, New York City is to New York as Vatican City. No, but Vatican City is an actual country. Vatican City is actually not Italian. There's a difference. New York City is still part of New York. It's not like the same thing because Vatican City is within the country, yes, but it's not a part of the country. New York City is within New York State, but it is also part of New York State.
Then comes 4 cups of unsweetened
He's making an almond joy bar. That's what it was.
That's a
Almond
lot.
joy.
Come on. Then
Oh.
press it into a large parchment-lined pan.
It's
I'm
not.
using 13 by 9 inch, but you could use anything similar, like a casserole dish.
I can't.
Once everything's flat and even, you're gonna need some almonds. You just line them up and press them in.
Okay.
This is so satisfying. Now this goes to the fridge, preferably overnight. It just needs to be really hard. Whoa. Cut. Yes. Now 4 cups of chocolate and 2 teaspoons
just
of
drizzle it
shortening
on it?
or coconut oil, melting over a double boiler. Fire! Then dip and cover. Hello! Done! Let them set.
What is it called? Vatican City? Checkmate, New York City is
on the money. Look at that. We did that. Mrs. Kirk, you're my hero. corn cookies from 1930. Now, if cornmeal were...
You know what the thing is? I want to make that almond joy recipe now, and I know Yura would like it too, but I didn't even see anything about the recipe because I'm too busy arguing that New York City is actually a part of New York because it's being compared to Vatican City. It's not a psyop! What is this conversation? New York City isn't real. It's a conspiracy concocted by the aliens to disguise their landing sites. They come to... Yeah, how could New York City be real? It's on a grid system. Humans can't make grid systems. They're too stupid. They come to bury their fossilized beavers. I hate everything right now. Oh my god. You guys even have a different accent than someone's sounding like more and more like a Black Templar fan. Oh my god.
to end up in my sugar cookie dough, I would consider that a mistake. But these people have done it on purpose.
I can't.
You know what that's called? Criminal intent. Begin by creaming a half cup of margarine with a half cup of sugar. They say using softened margarine is ideal. No, honey, what's ideal is not using margarine. One egg. So far, so good. And then came the cornmeal. Cornmeal in a sugar cookie. What a bright idea. Cornmeal on the floor. I'm gonna start needing blood pressure medication. 3/4 of a cup and half a cup of flour. Mixed. Now we form a log. Come on, be a good corn log. To the icebox. You are frozen. And now we roll it in cornmeal. Cookies. 8 minutes at 375.
That's probably delicious.
Huh? Whoa. This is lovely. It's a sugar cookie with a bachelor's degree. Bravo. Cornstarch cookies from 1919. These
That's
go
amazing.
by many names, like starchies, meltaways, and in Brazil where they originate, sequilus. But they're one of the OG gluten-free 3-ingredient cookies. We start with a half cup of sweetened condensed milk.
So, fun fact for you guys, there's a very real chance that I am celiac, right? But I refuse to get tested for it because I don't want to actually be told I can't have gluten. So I just suffer. So I might just make these and see how good I feel afterwards.
Followed by a half cup of soft butter. Beat vigorously. Then using the handle of a spoon, we slowly stir in 2 cups of cornstarch. What precisely does this accomplish? Trust the process. This is a strange trifecta of ingredients. I'm intrigued. Now we bake in a slow oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Well, 325 Fahrenheit. Perfect. These are so cute. Well, you know, in a world of similar cookies, these are something quite special. They're like a cloud of joy. Incredibly unique.
See, New York City person can't eat gluten. Don't, oh my god. Look, I was gonna say, you know how bad it is? Like, you know how bad it is for me to be like, yeah, no, it's like, I'm a lesbian mother from New York City who can't have gluten. I sound just as bad as like a vegan CrossFitter from Los Angeles. Like, it's, oh my god. I can eat gluten? Well, screw you, I still eat gluten, it just causes me pain.
Cottage cheese cookies from 1955. This was given to me by my friend Shelby. It's called Quick Dishes for the Woman in a Hurry. In a hurry to take a dump. We start with a cup of margarine. It's like butter, but terrible. 2 cups of sugar. Now we beat. That tracks for the 50s. 2 eggs. Then an entire cup of cottage cheese. I hate cottage cheese. It looks like it's listening to me. Chunky. For dry ingredients, we need 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of floof powder, and a half teaspoon of floof soda. Half cup of cocoa. Get in. Finish with nuts. Don't have to ask me twice. Mix. 10 minutes, 350. Hello. Oh? Now that's just a good cookie. It is distinctly different, but good. Cowboy cookies from 65.
Cookies.
Now I'm familiar with cookies and I'm quite familiar with cowboys. I went to the University of Wyoming. Go Pokes! So let's bake their cookies. We start by toasting a cup of coconut, cup of pecans, and 2 cups of rolled oats. What? I've never thought to toast oats. 8 minutes at 350. Next we have a cup of butter, cup of brown sugar, and a cup of sugar. This recipe is so even. How nice. Cream.
Dude, the comment section's gonna think that you're all on crack today. Okay, so for context, okay, I need to say this to anybody who watches this video after the stream, right? When this is a standalone video in a couple of days when it gets posted. Understand we just came off of watching a conspiracy theory video, so chat is literally just like they're off their rockers right now. They're off their rockers. They had their special candy bars. They're seeing things through their third eye right now.
And 2 eggs. Mix. Oh, Toasty. For the dry ingredients, we have 2 cups of flour and a mere teaspoon of baking soda. Fold. In goes all of the toasties. Plus 2 cups of chalky chips. So much stuff.
See, this looks good. No, this looks delicious. I would love these.
About 11 minutes at 350.
That's probably amazing. Yeah, that's heaven.
These are
like that would be that is the recipe right there.
highfalutin. Hold on. Good? Very. A date cream from 55.
last
now,
one.
if you've never had a date before, I'm sorry.
That is the deepest V-neck. I mean, it's a button down, but he is going really deep on that one.
You must be very lonely. But this is what they look like, and now you're looking at 2 fruits. We need 1 cup chopped. Very sticky. And this, gentlemen, is what happens when we get old. Cup of sugar. 1/4 cup of cornstarch. 1/4 cup of moo juice. What are we making, glue? 2 cups of scalded milk.
Oh.
Boil vigorously. Now we cook for 10 minutes over a double boiler. No clue. I've never made a date cream before.
Huh.
I've never cooked a date cream before.
Oh.
The yolks of 3 eggs. Temper first. Get in. Mix. Cool it down with 3 tablespoons of butter.
That might have been the most on the nose like comment he's made.
Dates. To the fridge. Good evening. It's dark. This is solid. Hello?
Is it good?
Ooh. Oh, what? This is blowing my mind. This tastes amazing. But I am more astounded as to how we ended up with ice cream in the fridge. Deep fried.
Huh. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to save the deep fried cookie dough for the next part, all right? I think that's a good place for us to stop for the day. Oh my God. New York City people are like mutant turtle. We're not continuing the New York City's not real debate. I'm not leaving that in the video. No. Oh my God. You're lucky I love all of you guys. You're lucky I love all you guys. If you guys told me, if somebody told me before, I'd be like, oh yeah, the meme today is going to be, we're going to say that New York City is not part of New York State. I would think that you're all on crack. I would actively think you're on crack. Oh my goodness. Crave the deep V, but will not work on me. It won't work on you unless you try. Ice cream in the fridge. This has me intrigued. I want to make a bunch of these. I still owe you guys a really. It's gonna be hard until the baby's a little bit older, so probably a few more months. Do not think I forgot. I know I owe you guys a full live cam baking stream, and I'm gonna be making beef Wellington on stream. I will be doing that still. It's just a little bit hard right now because we don't get long windows of time, and beef Wellington will take 5 hours, and we're not doing that until BB can be left safely. Like maybe that stream day probably. She'll need to be old enough to be able to spend the day with her grandparents. That sounds about right? For when I do the beef Wellington stream, she needs to be old enough to spend the day with my dad. Yeah. I think that's the play. If the people of New York City are all turtles, who would be the Shredder equivalent? Strider. Strider would be Shredder. His name's already close enough to it. Boston has like the most national champions amongst 4 major sports in the last 20 years. Yeah, but Boston's Boston, and nobody likes Boston. Or Boston. I'm kidding if I have viewers from Boston. I'm teasing. Do beef welly. I want to make like beef Wellington bites. I saw a creator make them and they look really good. She's editing streams so we don't learn the truth. Yeah, you got me. No, I'm going to go and edit because like we actually got through everything in under 4 hours and I actually have a good amount of videos to work with, which is amazing. I think I had 5 videos. I didn't think I'd get 5 videos in this time. That's crazy for me. Yeah, and then I just need Yura to do a quick recording for something, and then I'll probably be working for like another hour. I'll order food. Yura can nap. Oh my God. Everything's good. All right, chat would be the Foot Clan. Shut up. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for all the kindness. Thank you for the generosity. You guys always make every day really fun. Tomorrow is Saturday, right? Okay, Yura will be on first tomorrow. Then I'll be on a little bit later. I'll probably do more Code Vein. I think she's doing Cult of the Lamb. Yeah, we'll see you guys over on Twitch tomorrow. As soon as I get the poster for Patreon, I will let you guys know. If you guys want, you can always go over to the Patreon. I'm posting artwork. Yours posting artwork as regularly as we get it. I try putting interesting new things there that are not shown to everybody else. And you know, it's just extra stuff. Aside from that, yeah, poster will be hopefully added for the first month's poster will be added to the Patreon soon. All right. Love and appreciate you guys. Take it easy. and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you guys for being the best community on earth. I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye. Bye. Mwah.